For sure. Now you're good, man. Yo, what's going on, fellas? Happy Monday, man. One day away or a couple hours away from Christmas Eve, and then obviously the big day on Wednesday, Christmas. Hopefully you guys already did your guys' Christmas shopping, got the misses and the kids their gifts. Y'all did the Secret Santa, and hopefully you guys already went to get all your groceries, because earlier I stopped by at Costco, not to do grocery shop or anything. My father needed a new battery for his car. I guess that died out. Long story short, pack of sardines, fellas. There was so much people there. It was ridiculous. And I didn't even think about it. But be that as it may, most everybody got these couple days off. But without further ado, man, Drew, were you able
Yo,
to watch Alexander Usyk outbox Tyson Fury? How did you score the fight? What did you think about the artificial scoring judge that had it 10 rounds to 2? Just give me your thoughts real quick about that fight. And yeah, man.
yeah, I thought 10 rounds to 2 on the AI was crazy. I thought it was a little closer than that. But I did think that Usyk did a way better job in the second fight than he did in the first fight. Even though he didn't really hurt him as badly as he did in the first fight, it was just more consistent. It was more consistent pressure, more consistent jabs. It was more than anything. It looked like he knew the shot that he needed to land, and he kept landing that overhand right, bro. Or not, he didn't keep landing it because obviously Tyson Fury was trying to evade some of those punches, but it kept connecting, bro. And I remember saying, like, damn, like once he was taking some of Usyk's punches well in the first four rounds. In the later rounds, you just seen him pretty much get a little more tired, but he was getting hit, bro, and he wasn't. It was putting a he was putting a beating on him, bro. Just he kept landing that overhand right, and I thought he was gonna go down eventually, but honestly, Tyson Fury is just, yeah, I gotta give him his props, bro. Like, he made it the distance, and I could have sworn it looked like he was gonna go down, bro. Like, it was gonna he was gonna get hurt eventually, but yeah, dude, honestly, he kept trying to go for the body, and I think that it went exactly how he said, kind of, right? Like, he's gonna go for the body more, but I think that's exactly why he got landed so much, bro, because he was just aiming for the body. Um, but Usyk, man, just IQ, grit, just made a masterclass out of him, bro. Just, he's gonna go down as obviously one of the greats. He's been one of the greats, but this just solidifies it. I mean, to not to speak specifics, but he's one of the greats of this generation. Obviously, he's our version of Evander Holyfield, and if anything, he's done better than Evander Holyfield. Because he's pretty much completed boxing. He's done everything you can do at every level. Win gold medal, undisputed in both weight classes, beat the best of this generation. There's still, obviously, there's guys, prospects on the come up. But dudes like Usyk, man, is special, dude. Just because you can't to do what Usyk did, it takes a perfect type of size to move up to heavyweight, and he had barely enough size to, in my opinion, to really move up to heavyweight. Um and honestly, when he was moving up to heavyweight, I was kind of shocked. I was like, dude, I don't know. I don't know who he's gonna fare against. Honestly, I didn't see him beating AJ. Once he beat AJ, I was like, wow, like, this guy's special, bro. Like, this guy's special, bro. Like, so once he beat Tyson Fury, I just knew this guy was like our generation of Evander Holyfield. So there's a lot of options for this guy, but I don't want to move too far. Yeah, I don't want to move too far as like, who this guy can fight and all, or and Tyson Fury too, like, who they can fight. I'll just stick it to pretty much Usyk did a way better job in this fight, and it was entertaining. It was entertaining.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Got you. I was gonna ask you, did you find this fight to be a little boring? Yeah, you have to understand the reason I say boring is, bro, you getting paid over $100 million a piece. Fury,
mhm.
you are the challenger, bro. If you look at the final 12th round, in fact, like, I don't know if I should play it, but if I go to the 12th final round, let me see. Is this the last final round? Let me check. You see so much effort. And then you think to yourself, damn, Fury, how come you didn't fight? How come both of you guys didn't fight like that? Actually, it's just like way before. And I'm thinking to myself, why do you guys, the championship rounds, 10, 11, should have been like the final round. You see, I'm not going to lie to you. Watch, hold on. Let me see how this is here. Okay, so I went to 4K resolution, so let it just load up a bit. But I was watching the final round. I watched the whole fight with Speed, and I was like, yo, this fight's a little boring. You know, they're being very careful, very methodical, and I'm thinking to myself, you guys are getting paid so much money to entertain. You're not just representing your country, your last name. You're representing the whole sport of boxing. You have the world's attention to you. And in order to show people that this is the greatest sport of the world, you have to do the impossible. You have to be great, right? You have to take chances. You have to risk it for the biscuit, bro. And none of these dudes, preferably Fury, he had to. You have to, bro. You're the challenger. You know, you're going up against the man who beat you, who almost knocked you out, who has all the titles, who's undefeated, who's a Hall of Famer. And Fury did not want to risk it, bro. He took minimal challenges, took minimal risks, you know, and it's like, bro, you had to be better. And the whole fight, they're just going through the motions. They're going through the motions. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, they're gonna go all out in the championship rounds. No, the 10th and the 11th round were just the same as the 7, 8, 10 previous rounds. And here comes the 12th. And hopefully, and I can show you guys the distinction between these guys right here, this round and the previous others. Hold on, let me just change the resolution because this 4K is gonna go slow. So I'll go to 1080p. And long story short, I'm like, man, if you guys fought that last round since the beginning, how you guys ended it, because they looked like they were saving themselves. And I was like, this is a good boxing match. That's all it is. It wasn't memorable. The first one was much more entertaining, you know. But
More memorable. Yeah.
I was like, ah. So I thought it was a little boring, and I thought hands down that Usyk won the fight. I thought, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought he was landing. Okay, so Fury was slapping a lot. You know, he was throwing these little flicking jabs, almost punching you with the back of the glove, and it just looks very weird. And Usyk throws proper punches. You know, he connects with the knuckles, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't see how Fury is winning a lot of these rounds. I don't think this fight is close. I thought it was like 9-3, 10-2, mainly because one is actually punching with proper punch technique, and the other guy is trying to do his best to steal rounds when Usyk is, again, dominating. You know, for him being so-called the rabbit, and you're supposed to be chasing and finding him, it was Usyk actually pressing the fight the whole time, you know? And it makes sense because the longer, taller Ranger man and Fury, you know, he can keep him at the end of the jab, but Usyk with his side to side movement, you know, he was able to work around it. And I've always tried to, and I was telling Speed, and I've said this many times here in the past, the heavyweight division is an extremely overrated division. I've always said that.
Oh yeah.
The only thing is, it's a popular one. You know, at the time, United States has Deontay Wilder, the UK has Fury and Joshua, but I've always said it's extremely overrated. And a lot of the times, these guys aren't even fighting one another. There's no round robin. I don't know how good Joshua is because he's not fighting Wilder or Fury. You know, he's getting stopped by guys like Andy Ruiz. I don't know how good Deontay Wilder is because he's fighting the Archer Spilkas of the world, but at least he's fought King Kong Ortiz. So these guys aren't really fighting one another, you know, and that's, I'm like, I don't really know how great these guys are, it looks to me that there is this, and it's a boxing thing, but you're just trying to build cash cows, and they did a great job doing so. But I always thought that these guys were very flawed and very mediocre, but it's just very popular division because, these guys could talk. Fury can talk, he can promote, he can talk his ish. Joshua has that look where the girls will tune in. So I know that they're going to be popular. And same thing with Wilder, right? He's knocking out these dudes, even though he ain't really knocking out like people with legitimate chances of winning, and you still see it. So I'm like, all right, let's see what Usyk can do. And I was telling Speed, like, Usyk, he's a little small right now, but he should be able to dominate all of these dudes because I thought the cruiserweight division, like, they had their version of Wilder. His name is Dorticos, a Cuban. They have heavy punchers, Murat Gassiev. They have Mercedes Brady's. I thought at cruiserweight, the guys that Usyk fought, I thought they were much more challenging fighters than these heavyweights. Of course, these men at heavyweight are huge. It's the Wild West, bro. You can weigh between 200 to 325 pounds, and as long, like, there's no weights in between. It's just, hey, dude, once you make it to the big man leagues, you're in the big man leagues. But I thought, I was like, man, these dudes are very robotic. And Fury is just a freak of nature that he's so big, And
Yeah.
I didn't really thought Fury was that great of a boxer. A lot of people, they'll say like, oh, man, well, he's something 300 pounds. He's not supposed to move like that. And I'm like, you guys do realize, like, from a historical standpoint, the heavyweights were not only the face of boxing, but they were also the greatest athletes at that time. Muhammad Ali, he can bounce on his toes. Yeah, he was 6'2", 6'3", maybe 6'4". Then you had Frazier. You had Evander Holyfield. All of these dudes were very big and they were very athletic. George Foreman, he was like 6'6", 250. These guys were very athletic. And I wasn't impressed by Fury being able to do stuff like that. I'm like, bro, do you guys not remember these things? But be that as it may, I'm not just trying to compare eras. I was just saying, like, Usyk, from a athletic and boxing standpoint and experience, he should be able to dominate these dudes because his career was extremely accelerated. When you look at his reign at cruiserweight, like, I think in his 7th fight, dude, he was already a champion. I think Usyk only has like 18 pro fights. I don't know. I would have to double check that. I don't remember the numbers. Yo, salute to you, Mexican G. He goes, I was sure Fury was going to win. Smacks his head. Usyk was cheating. He wasn't letting Fury lean on him. Personally, I think I could have beaten both of them. And man, and you could have, bro. These guys didn't really come to fight. That's funny, bro. Yeah, no, he didn't, like, okay, like I was trying to tell you, Fury, when he dominated Wilder, Fury gets away with a lot of stuff. Yo, shout out to this documentary right here. Shout out to Vince Vargas. He put me on this documentary. There's this YouTube channel called Elijah Oxford, and it's called The Betrayal That Made Ryan Garcia Unhinged. And it's pretty good. I'll show you guys the first 10 seconds so you guys can watch it. The YouTube channel is called Elijah Oxford. It's basically archival footage that this editor and this team of writers juxtapose all together from beginning of Ryan Garcia's, foundation, his fetus as a boxer, as a kid, all the way till now of 25, 27 years old. Peep this. I'm going to maximize the screen.
Take a look at this clip. This is Ryan Garcia at 19 years old.
We finalized a Golden Boy contract for you.
You are currently watching the moment he becomes a millionaire. You are also watching the origins of one of the most cutthroat stories in boxing as he signs his career away to this man. Who is this man?
He is a lion, two-faced, hypocritical sack of and I hate him so much.
I got the proofs. I have proofs that he tried to steal money.
There's so much bitterness in him, and he's just a troubled man.
But before the fall, we got...
Anyway, I wouldn't necessarily say, yo, what's going on, Vince? Shout out to you, brother, for putting me up on this documentary. It's not so much of, like, they're trying to shine a lot of bad light that Oscar the Lawyer is the reason. It's just everything of amateur expectations of Ryan Garcia, dropping out of freshman year in high school to go after, professional money because his family needed money. They didn't really talk about the divorce and the girl trouble, but it was mostly like him going back and forth with Oscar De La Hoya about maybe Oscar not believing in him in the Romero Duno fight when they said that he was a little scared of him. All of these documentaries like pro Ryan Garcia, and they're trying to basically let you guys know from his perspective, and to be very considerate, to shine light of what made him essentially, as we go into the later end of the documentary, where he's unhinged. He's drinking beers and weigh-ins and like everything that led him up to that moment. So it's a really interesting documentary. I think you guys should give it a listen. It's everything you guys already know, especially if you guys know my channel. Like if you even know about this channel, then you're a freaking fan. So you already more or less know about the Ryan Garcia story, but it's still very interesting to rewatch all over again. The Mexican G goes, Sergio Mora didn't want to fight me. I called him a bitch on YouTube, and he didn't do nothing about it. What are you talking about, man? I remember you were telling that story that you met him at the mall and you asked for some cash, and you're like, come on, man. Vince Vargas goes, Ricky, Drew, boxing gloves, knuckles up. Salute to you, brother. Pound. Yo, you still there?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about Usyk, and yeah, man, I wanted more out of Fury, man. I wanted him to really let his hands go and start throwing his punches. And I was thinking to myself, as the fight was progressing, to the Mexican G, he pointed out, man, they didn't allow him to weigh on Usyk. Good. I'm glad that the referee actually did his job. You're not supposed to allow a fighter to lean on him. See, there was this time during the Klitschko era. Everyone talks about how dominant the Klitschkos were. But if you actually go watch their boxing, dude, they're horrible. All they do is lean on top of these fighters and gas them out. You can see it most notable in the Alexander Povetkin fight. And I'm like, bro, that's not great boxing. That's not great boxing. Yes, you look like a Superman, but that's not great boxing. And in fact, those are illegal tactics. And Fury learned from Klitschko, and he implemented it in his game, most notably against Deontay Wilder. And I'm like, all of those things are illegal. And the fact that the referee doesn't want to get involved lets me know that that referee is either in on it or he's not. He doesn't want to do his job or he's afraid. And the thing is, this referee, let me see if I can play this and we can see his face. I've never seen him before. Honestly. That guy right there. Actually, maybe I've seen him before. But be that as it may, this guy, if Fury tried to lean on him and you see Usyk try to pop his shoulder or work around it, he's like, I'm not going to allow that. And that's what made for a clean fight. And it lets me know that if they don't allow Fury to cheat, he can't get the job done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, this guy's trying to slap with his gloves. He's flicking this backhand jab, which is borderline illegal. I mean, you can flick a jab, but, he's literally like slapping the back of his knuckles to your face. And Usyk immediately takes note of it, and he brings it awareness. And that stuff is what you're supposed to do. But yeah, man, I wanted more out of Fury. Bro, you got to let your hands go. You're getting paid $100 million. If there's ever an opportunity to get a trilogy, you really have to beat Usyk. You got to force it. You got to catch this rabbit. And there was no risk for the glory. He was going through the motions. And I'm not saying that Usyk is an easy guy to hit. Clearly not. But you got to sometimes do what Derek Chisora does. And you got to let your hands go. You got to get rugged. You got to get nasty. I mean, that's what that's why you guys are bald. Because you guys are this is a fight. And you guys don't want to worry about your toupee or your hair flopping in your eyes. You want that shit gone. No distractions and boom, just let it go. And Fury refused, bro. And I was like, bro, this is hands down an Alexander Usyk fight. In the first couple of rounds, it looked close. But I was like, nah, we got one of these stinkers.
Yeah. My bad. Go ahead.
No, man, that's pretty much it. But I was just like, the AI thing, I thought it was going to be much more important. It didn't really look like it. I don't even think they were really addressing it as much. They showed you the three judges, and then I don't even think the announcer the one, let's say if it's Chris Mannix, I don't even think he even read the AI judge scorecard. It was just like, here's just another thing with the AI scored, you know. But it wasn't like Steve, I don't know, Weinstein and Julie Letterman and whatever Harold Letterman. Let's just say these three judges all had a 118, 112. Let's say for Usyk, they didn't even announce the AI judge. Like it was just like a side gadget thing. It wasn't even important. And I'm just thinking like, well, make it important. What are your guys' qualifications of implementing it? Like, what is the algorithm of the AI judging? What is it scoring? What is it looking for? How does it score ring generalship? There's so much things that I'm interested about AI judging, but if you're not gonna really make it a focus, is it like a gimmick? Anyway, I don't know. I felt like there should have been much more. I expected much more out of both men, preferably Fury because he is the challenger. But yeah, man, thought it was a decent fight for sure.
Yeah, yeah, bro. I expected a little more accuracy from the AI. I just wanted and I wanted more context as far as what the AI does. They didn't really describe too much. They didn't say really too much like how the mechanisms work and how it manages to count 1 point or like a landed shot. Like how does it know? So it didn't really give us too much context with that, but I think this was like a test run, and I think it's going to continue to be a test run for a while.
Yeah.
But I think they just used it for a reference point, and for it to say Usyk was up 10-2 rounds. Man, that's hard to say, but I do feel like it doesn't really judge like ring generalship, because to me that's what really matters, and it's really um how well they take their punches, whether they're affected by it. And I feel like you can read the body language, from your opponent, and you'll see that they're hurt. And I wonder if AI notices that, so for me, Usyk definitely won. This was a classic chess match, bro. Like from in the beginning rounds at least, and then I feel like Usyk just figured him out, bro. Like without that first fight, um he needed those couple rounds to figure this dude out. And he knew what punches to throw to actually land. And you could tell like Tyson Fury reacted a lot better to these punches, but he just kept getting hit by them, man. And you know, before the weigh-ins and all that, he showed it looked like he got skinny. He looked skinny, but then it comes out that he's like what 4 pounds over, so or not over, my bad, because he's never overweight, but 4 pounds over your last fight. So against Usyk, so it's like, what did you really do? And right here, he looks all pudgy, So it's like, I wonder what you did, like, and I wonder if it benefited you, or I wonder if it even mattered at all, And I'm starting to think, no matter what Tyson Fury did, he's just not good enough to beat Usyk, bro. Not fair-handedly, at least. I think the first fight, he was dominating more, just because, not dominating, but beating him in a lot more rounds, just because Usyk couldn't figure him out. You know, uh, he couldn't figure him out, and he didn't really know what punch was gonna land. And then he found his punch. He found his punch later on in the fight, and he carried that knowledge over to the second fight. And this is what you get. And
Yeah.
and it was for me, bro. I like to know who's the best, so it's classic to me. It's classic always. No
What
matter.
do you think?
It could have been more boring. It could have been more boring, and I would have still called it a classic. Just because it's a classic chess match, and when it comes down to chess matches, and it comes down to the best of the best, that truly means there is no room for error for either fighter. So Tyson Fury managed to not get as hurt as his last fight, but he just couldn't, you know, make it look convincing to the judges. He felt like he won, He won the 3 rounds. He felt he did better. So there's something that he's not understanding as far as what judges like. Just because you're so damn big, it doesn't mean you get to get away with some sloppy ass punching. You know, you got to land with your two knuckles, front knuckles, and that's what Usyk does. He turns over on his knuckles and makes sure he actually, like, if he were to not have gloves, he would land square with those two knuckles. You know, so because that's where the most of the momentum comes from. And when you're slapping your punches, make it look pretty at least. Make it look like you're popping his head back. You're just touching him. You're not hurting him. You're just in his way. And he was available. He was available. Look how close he is. Look how inside the box he is, bro. That's why he was like so open for shots, because he was looking for some too. He felt like he should have been a little more aggressive.
I feel like it could have been more lighter. You know what I mean? You have to focus on speed. You have to focus on speed when you fight another speed fighter. Unless you're gonna punch with him, and it looked clearly from the onset and from the first fight that Fury was not comfortable at all punching with Usyk, because he didn't even think that he can get hurt by him until he got dropped. And then he was like, oh man, this guy actually hits harder than I anticipated. To your point, Vince, I didn't order the fights. I guess I didn't miss much. If you didn't order it, you can still watch it. If you just go to Turkey Al Sheikh boxing YouTube page, he already posted the whole fight.
It's already free.
Yeah, so it's pretty much right then and there. And you didn't really miss much. It was a good little fight. Nothing too crazy. I would almost tell you don't watch it.
It's like it looks similar to the first fight, except
but worse. There was downs. They didn't really, Fury already looked like he was defeated. He didn't want to risk it. You see one side of his face already getting like, a little bit of inflammation, a little bit of swelling. So it is what it is. But I want to ask you something, man, because I think after the fight, Usyk, after his press conference, Daniel Dubois comes and checks him. Let me see. Are you interested in a Daniel Dubois rematch, bro, between him and Usyk? Where are you at?
Yeah, at heavyweight, right? Yeah. Why not? I'm not. I don't want to see Usyk lose, but if he goes down in weight, I will be nervous for him. If he goes down to cruiserweight, it's like now he's dealing with speed. And maybe your mind is not ready for that. And it's like, dude, that's when you get hurt right there. So I think he should stick in the heavyweight division. And yeah, I like that Daniel Dubois fight. I think he is in a tough fight. I'm thinking about it right now just because of where Daniel Dubois is mentally. He's on a roll right now. His confidence is at 100 right now. Like, he actually thinks that maybe he is improving, but I think he's always been that guy. I think a lot of people overlooked him. And who did he just beat right now? Oh yeah, Anthony Joshua.
True.
A lot of people, I think in reality, a lot of people overlooked Daniel Dubois. He is actually one of the most highly touted like amateurs. So he was legit, bro. He's an Olympian. Like, he may seem like a goofball, like a airheaded a little bit, but man, this guy's fucking strong as fuck, bro. And you can see it by the way Usyk was reacting to his punches, bro, to his body punches. So I'm gonna give him a more than a puncher's chance. I'm gonna give him more than a puncher's chance to beat Usyk just because of his mentality. And I feel like that's what holds Daniel Dubois back, is his mentality. And I feel like right now it's close. It'll be a tough fight for Usyk, bro, just because Daniel Dubois knows what to do. Now he knows what hurts him. Usyk hasn't figured out what hurts Daniel Dubois. Didn't he knock him down?
Well, Usyk legitimately knocked down Daniel.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't hurt him.
Hit, in my opinion, it's a low blow, easy low blow. But there's a lot of people that are sore losers that'll be like, nah, bro, that was on the belt line. Dog, the belt line is a low blow. You know what I mean? It's always been a low blow. But except, I don't know why they even like rooting for Daniel. You know what I mean? But be that as it may, a lot of people were calling Daniel Dubois a quitter. He quit against Joe Joyce. But to be fair, his eye was, dude, it had a lot of swelling. It was closed, probably broke his orbital bone. It's like extreme pain. However, he got onto a roll. When he first fought Usyk, you can see that he was unsure of his ability. After beating Jerome Miller, after knocking out Joshua, this dude looks like a formidable force. Like he reinvented his whole image, reinvented who he is as a fighter. This is a dangerous Daniel. This is not the same Daniel. And I think Usyk understands that. Usyk respects that. And he goes, why not? I would like to fight Daniel next. I don't know if there's anything left for Usyk really left to do or accomplish.
Right.
Look, the guy's extreme. Like he's accomplished. He's decorated. He's up there decorated like Bud Crawford. There's not much left for these guys to do and in their boxing career in terms of maybe just being or having like a fantastical exhibition match. Because what can they possibly do now? There's a lot that they could do in terms of names, kind of like Canelo. Canelo, like Usyk, like Bud Crawford, they find themselves in these crossroads in their career because they essentially have accomplished and attained everything that they've ever possibly wanted, and then some.
I know what.
Don't get me wrong. There's more. Like Usyk can have, a fight with Daniel. He can fight maybe Deontay Wilder. He can have an exhibition match with Klitschko and all of these things. But it's like you can walk away into the sunset, bro. You accomplished. Same thing with Canelo. Sure, there's David Benavidez. Sure, there's the rematch with Bivol. There's also Artur Beterbiev. But you don't really need that. And then with Bud Crawford, it's like, sure, there's Madrimov. Sure, there's all these other fighters. But you don't really need that. So they find themselves in this very strange, crossroads in their career. And it's like, what possibly more can they accomplish? What possibly more can we ask of them? Of course, they can do more and more and more. But it's like, do we want to see that? They've given us a lot of great years, a lot of things to talk about. Let's move on to the new Bucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he I agree. Like right now, it's pretty much solidified. He's gonna he's gonna go down as an all-time great. And right now, he's just doing favors in a sense. He's just doing. He would do Daniel Dubois a favor if he would have chosen him to fight next. But Daniel Dubois got to go through Joseph Parker. So that's gonna be a tough fight for him in February 22nd. And somebody else on that same card I was gonna say too. The only way I really see him kind of being in like, and I'm not even sure if it might be worth it, but like I could only see one way he would like, want to move down or like continue to like, make history, and that would to like fight Beterbiev. If Beterbiev Usyk, if Usyk were to see Beterbiev move up to cruiserweight, to cruiserweight and see him capture all those belts, I think he's willing to do something for pride. I think he's willing to get back with his bro because I think Arthur Beterbiev got the best of him in the amateurs. So I think that's something worth getting your lick back from. I know that's years ago and that's kind of far-fetched, but that's really like the only guy. Like I can see Arthur Beterbiev being the Antonio Tarver, to fucking to Usyk. I could see him being that, but that's really like the only like storyline I got for you as far as like potential matchups because he's completed boxing, bro.
Yeah.
Usyk has completed boxing and at this point the concrete slab to his fucking to his legacy is fucking solidified, and he's just extending that motherfucker another slap. Sorry for my language, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess if Archer were to, let's say, knock out Bivol, then we know he's a guy at 175, and then he can be like, "Hey, Canelo, you want a chance of all these belts? If not, I'm gonna go to cruiserweight. I'm gonna go knock out Zurdo, and I'm gonna go knock out Jai Potai." If he can do that,
Benavidez.
then I can see Usyk. Can you lose those 30 pounds that you've gained for heavyweight, and can you come back down and fight this dude? But I don't see a Usyk Beterbiev I don't know, bro. I mean, it's
That's
body,
only
but
yeah.
I don't know, bro. I think he's 37 years old. It'll be very tough to lose that weight. There's more money, but at the same time, you just never know. Yeah,
And
I got
you
that one.
and you're right. And you're right. You would have to see him knock out the cruiserweights for him to be like, "You know what? I'm tempted now." But I think since you got dudes like Bivol going the distance with Beterbiev, I think that's just like the scratch of the surface as far as dudes that can make a distance go the distance with Beterbiev in the cruiserweight division. Yeah, I think cruiserweights can go the distance with Beterbiev, but if he continues to do what he does, it's like, oh, like I can see it. I can see it. That's a screaming. He would be screaming up at Usyk, bro, and he'd be like, "Move down. Let's do this for let's do this for pride." And you know what?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason why I don't see that happening, you can call me crazy, and I respect Bivol and Beterbiev's skills. Obviously, what they're able to do are not easy things. But I wouldn't call them pound for pound fighters because they haven't fought in multiple places. No, they've always stayed at 175.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know how good Archer is at cruiserweight. Hell, I don't know how good is Bivol at 168 and 175. To be that matter, I didn't even know how good Triple G was because he only fought at middleweight. Then he years later fought Murata and Canelo at 175, I believe. I could be wrong, at 168. But I don't really know how good these guys are. You know what I mean? Is Beterbiev great? Yeah. Alexander Vostok's a very good fighter, and he knocked him out when he was undefeated. He outboxed Bivol. Like, he got a score, you know what I mean? But I don't know how great Beterbiev is because he's only fighting one weight class and you're 40 years old. You only have 20 fights. Same thing with Bivol. You're only known for beating Canelo Alvarez, who's in the 6th, 7th weight class. To me, that's impressive, but he was struggling against Sergey Kovalev. So we know like that was an easy fight for you. And that's why you won 9, 10 rounds. But that doesn't mean just because you can beat Canelo, who's 5'7", doesn't mean that you can beat your contemporaries that are in your prime, because you didn't fight Donna Stevenson. You didn't fight Vostok. You didn't fight Sergey Kovalev. You didn't fight those guys. You just fought Canelo, and that's what gave you standing at 168. Or, at 175. Then you fought Zurdo, right? Which is, I'm not trying to downplay. That's a good victory for you. But what I'm trying to say is all of these things, I couldn't necessarily rate these guys at that level. Now, could they go to cruiserweight? Could they beat Jai Potai and all these dudes? Possibly. But you got to do it before I can give you and put you on that same pedestal that we can put Usyk in, who has done that, who has done it in 2, 3 weight classes, and he's gone after all the belts. So who's very active, who's doing that thing. I don't know, bro. It'll be very interesting to see. Maybe I'm wrong on that aspect, but I would like to see it that fight nevertheless. Let me ask you this, man, because you're talking about Artur Beterbiev and Bivol. Obviously, the rematch is happening. How do you see that fight going?
That fight, I got Beterbiev. I got Beterbiev. Bivol got to show me that he can, that he can actually like take his punches, and evade his punches better. I mean, he was getting hit so much, bro, and he was willing to exchange with him, and he was losing the exchanges, in my opinion. Beterbiev was landing the harder shots, and he would actually outpunch Bivol by at least 1 or 2 punches. and there were the harder punches, so that it really comes down to that, those, to those instances, and they happen quick, and I think like in the first fight, the first exchange that they had when they actually started going off on each other, uh, Beterbiev won that one instantly. Right when I seen that exchange, I was like, "Fuck," just because that was Bivol's best right there, like that exchange. That Bivol thought that he was gonna be able to, you know, give him some, or give him something so he can respect, you know. And obviously he kept coming forward. There ain't no respect with Beterbiev. He's gonna walk straight through you, bro. Like that's just his style, and it's a blessing in disguise in this fight, But when you get like that's what I was saying. Like maybe like a heavier dude could go the distance with him if he can just outbox him and keep him the distance. He's a simple fighter, and he doesn't really switch up that much. But he's a really good counter puncher. He knows how to punch in between the punches, and he comes forward, man. So
Who do
yeah,
you
that's
think
why
will
better
make
be.
the adjustments?
What
Bivol
happened?
or Beterbiev?
Say it again.
Who can make their adjustments in the second fight that they couldn't do in the first? Obviously, Beterbiev won the decision. It was pretty close. You think Bivol can change it up?
Yeah, Bivol has shown me that he can change it up,
In what
but
fight?
in the Arthur, there was like this Arthur fight where he started to change up the gears. I forget his name,
I don't
but
know.
he does change it up, but it's just he doesn't go for knockouts. It's the one he didn't he didn't get the knockout in. But I seen him try to go for it, and he changed it up, so except that dude was a little bigger than him, and yeah, he just wasn't able to get him away, bro. But I mean, Bivol is more capable of making the changes, but I just don't think that it doesn't matter with Beterbiev, you know. Um, I don't even know. Like, I think he gave him his all, bro, in this fight. He gave him his all, and he probably did change it up in the first fight, bro. And he was like trying to trying to outbox this dude and now trying to outthink this guy, but this guy's just a workhorse, bro. He doesn't give you a chance to think. Doesn't give you a chance to reset your footing once he gets you. Um, yeah, dude. With Bivol, uh, he wasn't in and out as much compared to Canelo, because Canelo let him do that and let him go back and forth with Beterbiev. He's not giving them space. Look how close he is. He's not letting him go back and forth. If he hops back, it's actually dangerous because he can follow him going back. So stylistically, Bivol beats a lot of dudes. Obviously, he's one of the best. I think this is number one and number two. Um, but him and Benavides will be a good fight. But I don't I
Shit.
don't think nobody beats Beterbiev, bro. So that's why I was saying, like, eventually Beterbiev is gonna complete this division, but I don't know if it's gonna be too late. As far as his age, and then as far as Usyk being done
But
with
what do
him.
you mean Beterbiev completing his division? He already did. He's undisputed.
Oh, it'll be complete once he beats him again. So I think yeah, it'll be complete once he beats him again, and then he's gonna look for other options. I think he's not talking about beating. He doesn't want to fight Canelo. It doesn't look like he wants to fight Canelo. Just by the faces he makes in interviews, he doesn't look like happy to, content to fight him just because of there is no belts and and all this shit. So he wants to go for legacy, and he wants to, you know, I think they're trying to set up Better Beeb and Opatai, and then that'll be a good fight too. So I think low key he's already going to move up to cruiserweight. But I think because there's nothing else for Better Beef to do, so if he knocks out everybody again, I'm telling you, man, that's juicy. That's a juicy fight right there. Yeah, just juicy. Booty sweat. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man. But yeah, man.
Yeah, nah, man. I'll say this, man. I don't really think Bivol can really make any adjustments. We talked about it in the past, bro. When it comes down to Arthur, this was a year layoff. Year layoff and surgery. Everything, no tuna. Everything favored Bivol. And Bivol could not get it done, bro. You know what I mean? And maybe he can throw more combinations, but maybe I can say the same with Archer. Maybe Archer with a full training camp, knowing that he can already beat Bivol, was a little cautious because he's a little older with like knee surgery. Maybe he lets his hands go and he drops Bivol.
Maybe.
You know, I think Archer will just solidify it, man. As for David Benavidez, bro, these two dudes destroy Benavidez. Bivol outboxes him, Archer destroys him. David, one of the things about David, I like David, but he's making a lot of mistakes in his career, man. And that is, you have to always, bro, you always have to be the ultimate professional outside of the ring. This dude balloons up so much in weight, and that's taken away from drilling. Okay, now I'll say this: just because you're chubby or whatever the case may be, it doesn't mean that you're not in shape, right? But I'm just saying is that David has a lot of fat camps in between. And it's like, bro, you got to keep Memo Heredia on your staff at all times, not just whenever you think you have a challenging fight that you want his quote unquote insider nutrition or special drinks. Hell no. Dude, all that stuff it's a lifetime. It's a lifetime. Once you decide to be like, all right, bro, I'm no longer a boxer, I'm gonna turn actor, I'm gonna turn rap artist or whatever, that's when you don't ever have a Memo Heredia. But as big as you are in terms of your aspirations, what you're trying to accomplish, you have to do that 365. A whole year, legitimate. You can't just be like, oh,
Yeah.
one day I'm gonna have this guy, one day I'm gonna eat a burger. No, bro, you gotta be straight solid every single time, because that's what Bivol, that's what all of these dudes. And if you're trying to aspire to be as great, let alone beat these dudes that are doing that and more, you gotta be clean, thorough all the way, all the way. There's no second guessing. There's no one time I'm gonna have a fan camp or I ate a lot. You have no more excuses because he's already lost the belt 2-3 times. Once on the scale, one on the cocaine drug test. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta correct that, bro. There's no more passes. He's been a pro for almost a decade, maybe 12 years. You know,
Damn.
I think he turned pro when he was 17, 18 years old. I think now he's like 28, 29. He might even be 25. I don't even know. Can anybody know? Do you guys know the Mexican G, Vince, how old David Benavidez is? He's probably in age, though.
Yeah.
I mean, not in age, but he's probably been a pro for a decade, is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
So when you look at all, because I think he was the youngest champion ever at age 20, or one of the youngest champions. He's 28, and I think he was a pro at 18 or 17, bro. So when you look at all these things, I'm like, damn, bro, you've been a champion for a decade, and you've only, like, what have you done with your career, really?
2013.
2013?
August 2013.
Bro, we're going into 2025. That's almost 12 years, bro. And in that time, what has Canelo done? What have all these other fighters have done? And you're almost their age. And it's just like, bro, you got to step it up. You got to put, your fucking pedal to the metal and just grind it out. And these things, it's just like, bro, like you're fighting I don't know how great Morel is. I don't really think all of us know how great he is. We don't even know if he's that great. All I'm saying is the guy has only 11, 12 fights. That's a prospect. David Morel has beaten absolutely nobody. Yamaguchi, Falcao, Hot Rod, who are those guys? They're not champions. They're not even ex-champions, And that's who David Benavidez is fighting. And a lot of us think you might just get beat. So that lets me know if you can barely beat a David Morel, what the hell are you going to do against Bivol and Beterbiev or Beterbiev? You're going to do absolutely nothing to them. If we think that you're in a 50-50, 60-40 against a guy with 12 fights, you're not even touching these dudes. And we saw that even though he won, 10 rounds against Alexander Volstik, we noticed that you couldn't even penetrate his guard, and you were throwing everything and the kitchen sink at him. And that dude's
Yeah.
face was unscathed, no bloody nose, no bloody mouth, not even a red marking. In fact, you had red markings on your face. So
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I think David has a lot to really consider in terms of his career, in terms of where he finds himself with these, people that rate these dudes on pound for pound lists.
Mhm.
You can't even use that excuse that David is young, bro. He's a vet, bro. He's got 12 years in this game, or
Yeah.
coming to like, what are we
12.
talking about here? So I don't know, man. It's gonna be very, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting stuff for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I agree. He doesn't beat any of these guys, man. And he's not even like he's like having fat camp and then he'll, go back into camp and he goes all out, but he just I don't know, he thinks he has like infinite energy, like his body's gonna manage to lose weight and gain weight. It's like, dude, that's not good for you, man. You gotta stay within weight, and that's the only way that's the best way you stay active like that. It's really like what you eat in the off season. So I mean, these guys right here, you have a Muslim right here and Arthur Betterby who's on his shit, and he goes on a very strict diet at least once a year, and he's already in a diet probably throughout the whole year on top of that. So and you got Bivol been who's doesn't look like he gets fat at all in the off season, so it's just that's what you're up against, man. So I don't see him beating these guys, and he's got to move correctly, man, or start improving at least. Like start showing me that you can knock out the dudes that we don't believe that you can knock out. You know, they got to put him into those tough fights. David Morrell, he's expected to knock out David Morrell, but they're also
So too, that should be the expectation. The kid only has 12 fights.
yeah,
Knock him out.
and if this guy like even manages to hurt you in any way, it's gonna make you look bad, bro. Just know that, and he's got to have like a really good performance and start putting him in with dudes that are like actual like hitters, bro, and they're actually like contenders in this division. I know Alexander Vosdek, was a solid fight, but I mean, was he really top 10 once light heavyweight?
Yeah,
No.
Alexander Volstik, he was legit, bro. He had
Okay.
Stevenson in a coma. Like that dude is a bona fide good fighter, bro.
Okay. But you got to start to think about who else is in that light heavyweight division, so you got to show me that. Like, if he can knock out.
Well, here's this. David has experience, bro. He's got an ex-champions in there. Caleb Plant, Anthony Durrell. He's fought all of these dudes, right? Demetrius Andre. Like these guys are good fighters. So for David to be able to beat those dudes, you have every single thing is catered to you. David Morrell here is the prospect who has made people falsely believe that he's a legitimate threat. You know what I mean? Now he's undefeated. He's young. We know he can crack. So he is a threat, right? Anybody that steps in there is a threat. But in terms of everything, the whole totality of the circumstances, you're just as big. You fought in against better competition. Volstig, Caleb Plant, all of these dudes. Daniel Morrell hasn't fought anybody. He's younger than you, so he's inexperienced. He looks to be more like in shape, but that doesn't mean nothing, right? We've seen fighters that are younger look stronger. Canelo versus Floyd. These guys are extremely unprepared. So experience plays a lot of things in the factors when it comes down to the pro game. David Benavidez should dominate David Morrell. I'm saying probably like knock him out in 7 rounds. If he can't do that, it's not so much a testament of how great David Morrell is, because we don't know how great he is. His resume doesn't prove to us based on his track record, oh yeah, I can say that he's a great fighter. No, because I don't really rate David Benavidez as a great fighter. I think that he's got great potential, and he's beating some good fighters that I like Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade, Alexander Volstik. That's a start. But you're 12 years in the game, bro. Like I can't emphasize like how long 12 years fighting professionally at the age of 17, 18, that's a really, really long time. So David, in 12 years, it's like if Canelo Alvarez right now, right, took a back step and he's like, you know what, bro? I'm going to fight Christian and Billy. And you get, or no, not Christian and Billy. As if Canelo said, I'm going to fight Diego Pacheco, 20-year-old with 24 wins. You're going to be like, damn, that's where you're at right now in your career, Canelo? Like 20 years into the game, you want to go fight Diego Pacheco? That's actually what David Morrell is to David Benavidez. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, you can't be doing that, bro. It's just, David Benavidez is looking for big names at the same time, but he's gonna get and like you said, he beat dudes like Caleb Plant, Bugu Andrade, so he should be able to like, at least like fit in the top 5 of light heavyweights. You know, like he should be able to, beat some of these guys, but not these two guys, not Bivol and Beterbiev. Anthony Yard, that'll be a good fight, or maybe Joe Smith, even though he's kind of, been knocked out a couple times. Fights like that. I want to see how you take a light heavyweight punch, like a Joe Smith. I want to see how it hurts you, when he lands that overhand right, or what's a strong punch. I think he has some devastating punches though, so you also got, you also got like the dudes that I just named right now, Anthony Yard. So yeah, man, you just got to be careful how he moves, or start improving, man. Start showing us that you can knock these dudes out. And yeah, man. So the only way, and that's really the only way he fights Canelo, right? If he actually manages to go through this division and get all the belts, So
the only way Canelo would be interested in fighting David, if David was somehow to beat one of these two dudes on screen.
At least one of them
have all the belts for sure.
Right. And at least one of them, right? Like obviously the winner of this, you see him fighting the winner of this? I don't see it happening.
Damn.
It'll be too soon.
I don't think it's too soon. I just think that you fought Alexander Vostik and you went the distance with him, and you realize how much bigger that dude looked than you. Then you realize how you couldn't penetrate through his guard, which lets me know that you won't be able to penetrate Dimitri Bivol's guard. It also lets me know that your power isn't that concussive, but your hand speed is very good. And that's what Alexander Vostik feared. Because I think in the first or the third round, David hit him with a left hook to the temple, and Vostik, you see his legs buckle a little bit. And then Vostik, all he did was tighten up his guard. So I realized, David, as you move up to 175, understand that your hand speed is your strongest asset. That's what's going to get you to win these fights until you physically, your muscle mass actually, carries well into 175 with the, the tutelage and the wisdom of Memo Heredia. He'll get you there. Now, is David ready for these two fights? David Morrell doesn't prepare you for these two dudes.
Exactly.
Those are orthodox. I would like David to hopefully knock out David Morrell and then fight Alexander Vostik in a rematch. And the reason is, I think Vostik is still the third best at 175.
Really?
Yeah, I think Vostik would beat Joe Smith Jr. I think Vostik would beat a lot of these fighters and still be in the top 5 at age 37. So I think it would be like, Archer, it would be Dimitri Bivol, and then it would be Alexander. Well, you would put David above Vostik because he beat him, but it was a much closer fight than a lot of people think it out to be. Let me see. Watch. I'll show you. Hopefully it's up here. David Benavidez, Vostik. If you really look at the fight, this is the whole fight right here on PBC 5 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to look at the light heavyweights right now. Oh yeah, you also said Zurdo already.
Again, this is a new weight
Just off observation. That's not the best one.
Again, this is a new weight class for Benavidez.
Just right here, David looks like he has water weight. He looks small. Volstik looks shredded. He's got the wings. He's got the triceps. He's got all of that. David doesn't. You see what I'm saying? But David looked very lean and light. You know what I mean? So these are strengths actually to David. And as long as in this fight, I looked at it like this. He was very, very nervous. And he blew his wad out extremely early, in my opinion, because you don't see it right now. But after 2 minutes go past out of the third, there's 3 minutes in each round, obviously. He starts to stay on the ropes a lot. And he starts to get pushed back a lot. And he starts to overcompensate with wild left hooks. Watch, let me see if I can show you this. It's hard to remember every single time stat.
190 to 124 punches total, 73-27 edge in terms of body punches landed, but we have not seen the high volume that we were used to seeing when he was at 160.
Yeah, you're not going to fight the same in every single fight, especially in the new weight classes. I mean, it's a heavier weight class. Usyk is Usyk. Big guy.
Fans were expecting relentless pressure, combination punching,
I think I know a good fight.
Yeah,
You know what?
like if you really go watch this fight, it was really, really close. It was really a mirror match.
Right.
David really wasn't like landing extremely flush punches nor throwing his flurries. And Volstik, he was just Peter patting. He was just touching, and then he would land something here. But it was like, you should fight him again, David. After what I think you should knock out David Morrell, go fight this dude again. And if you can really stop this dude, then you're ready for Arthur and Bivol. But if you cannot stop him, you have no chance versus Arthur and Bivol. Like, no chance.
Yeah.
And
So,
I can't stress that enough. Like, it'll be very detrimental for him. He does have youth on his side. So, again, what I'm saying is, no cowardice thing, but I'm saying, like, David, if you play your hands correctly, you can get a shot out of Bivol and Beterbiev, but you have to understand that in order, if you want to get Canelo, you're going to have to beat those dudes, or at least one of them. And then Canelo would be like, now you have belts. Now it makes sense. Edgar Berlanga, he's not going to fight you. Jaime Munguia, maybe now he fights you. But Jaime now has that rematch with, the Frenchman. So, and then probably he'll probably fight the other top-ranked fighter, Christian Mbili, another Frenchman who's based out in Canada. The Mexican G goes, man, you're crazy, Rick. Benavidez outclassed him easy. He was injured this fight and still dominated. That's true. And even more so to fight him now when he's healthy. So you won't have that cut in your eyebrow that you sustain in sparring. You won't have injuries, I don't think Benavidez outclassed him easily. You can watch this fight in Premier Boxing Champions. I thought that he won the fight, but I don't think it was easy for him.
You know what I think?
I'll tell you why it wasn't easy for him. Because David himself said, look, guys, I injured my hand. I had a cut during sparring. This made it difficult for me to perform. Because if David knocked out Alexander Volstik in 3 rounds, I guarantee you he's not saying, hey, guys, I have a cut or I injured my hand in camp. He won't. He just be like, look, guys, I was able to knock him out even with an injured hand. And that's how I'm that great. Canelo, where you at? But he didn't say none of that. He said, look, guys, new weight class. Volstik's very good. I injured my hand. And he looked like he was going to cry. Look, I'm not lying. I'll show you those tears of victory. Nah, I don't know if he was gonna. I don't know if he was gonna cry. Look at his face though. He looks like one of them characters from The Hills Have Eyes.
119 to 109, all 3 in favor of the winner. He is now the interim WBC light heavyweight world champion.
A little fast forward a little bit. That's a little facial structure damage. That's a close. And that's how a fight's supposed to look like. I get it. But it was much closer than it really what it comes down to. But Volstik did definitely have to let his hands go. It's like, bro, you're not gonna win this type of decision against the PBC highly promoted David Benavidez, probably their next only hope that they have aside from Tank Davis. Yo, Drew, you were gonna say something real quick, bro?
Yeah, man, I got two great fights for this dude, man. I think stylistically, there's some UK fighters that can actually beat Benavidez because of that style. You know, it's just very few can do it, you know. But I do have one in mind. Uh Colin Smith. I think
Oh,
Colin I
nah,
think
hell no. I think David destroys that dude.
I don't think so, bro.
Alan
I don't
Smith
think
sucks, bro.
Nah, dude. I disagree, bro. I think he's still that guy, bro. Like I think he's still in this like in his prime still, bro. Like he can beat a lot of these guys, bro. Like him moving up to light heavyweight was actually a great move, bro. That would be a tough fight. That would be like, one of what?
Better
If
be knocked him out in 4 rounds.
Yeah, but it was like, dude, he was losing the rounds. You know, this guy fucking like lost 3 rounds and then he got knocked down the 4th. You know, so I don't know. It just he's Dave Benavidez is not punching as hard as fucking Arthur Betterby. I think he's gonna
It sucks, bro.
Betterby. My bad, other way around. But yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. He fights Joshua Buatsi in that same card too. So I bet you they're trying to set they're trying to set they're trying to set that up, bro. I bet you, bro. Same card, everything. He fights Buatsi. That's a good fight. He fights Buatsi, but I think he, beats him.
Benavidez with Watsi would be fun, but nah, bro. Nah. The UK.
Why are you protecting Benavidez for, man?
Nah, you protect, bro. I'm protecting Callum Smith from an ass whooping, bro.
Nah, you protecting him a lot, bro. I think Colin Smith. That's a great fight, though, isn't it?
It would actually. It's a very good fight for David to really introduce himself to the UK audience. That's a fight that you would go to the UK, knock that dude out, and people can, one of the things about boxing is you're a world champion, not just a Mexican American champion or an American champion or a Canadian champion. You're a world champion. You have a duty to the sport of boxing, to that World Boxing Organization belt around your weight, whether it's the green, the red, the IBF, the WBA, the WBO, that you have to fight in different parts of the world. That should be mandatory. You know what I mean? Now, I understand that if you fight in your backyard, that's how you're able to sell out, because that's your local fan base. But no. Thriller in Manila, that happened in the Philippines. When you're a world champion, you have to fight in every part of the world and popularize that sport. You get what I'm saying? Like, for example, Kobe is huge, bro. That dude has a huge fan base in China. Kobe in China.
Right?
He's
Kobe
bigger
Bryant?
in China than he probably is in the United States. And he's huge here in the United States. But in China, dude, you'd be damn surprised if they had a mural and a statue of him. So all I'm saying is this: when you're a world champion, you have to fight in different parts of the world. That's mandatory. But these guys only fight in their backyards. And this is something that not only happened, but it became a Floyd Mayweather thing. Maybe an Oscar De La Hoya thing as well. They always wanted to fight in Las Vegas, Las Vegas. That's the center of the world, type of thing for boxing. That's the fight capital of the world. All of this like slogans and propaganda that they try to sell us, that's the fighting shtick. But no, dude, all of the biggest fights happen in a worldwide scale. And that's what boxing needs, for them to do more. Obviously you see more fighters get the bag in Saudi Arabia, and everyone, like, that's the playoffs for boxing. Like, oh, you go to Saudi Arabia, that's the Super Bowl, that's the Mecca right now. But it would be smart for David to possibly fight the winner of Callum Smith and Joshua Buatsi in the UK. That would be great for him. That would get him to the UK audience, have that pipeline connection, maybe with an Eddie Hearn, a Turki Ali Sheik, and maybe he can kind of force himself in there. Because I will say this: Errol Spence many years ago said that Golden Boy don't treat black fighters well. And that never sat well with me because the Charlos never said that bad. They never said nothing bad about Golden Boy. In fact, they only left Golden Boy because they didn't want to give him the Canelo Alvarez fight. That's it. Jermell Charlo said that on a Fight Hype interview. Easy to find. Keith Thurman, he loved Golden Boy. He too wanted the Canelo fight because Canelo smirked at one of the fights where I think they dropped Keith Thurman or hurt him to the body shot. I forgot which one it was. Maybe the Diego Chavez fight. And Errol Spence, who didn't even last long enough to really be promoted by Golden Boy, comes out and says that stupid ass statement. And I love Errol Spence, bro. I like him as a fighter. He went to the UK and fought Kell Brook. So what you're saying with David fighting Callum Smith or Joshua Buatsi, that makes a lot of sense because you know you have the Mexican-American fan base. You probably have the Mexican fan base like Juan Manuel Marquez Morales Barrera catering behind you. Now you have to expand. This is global domination, global influence. You do have to take your talents and you have a fiduciary duty to that boxing organization to grow your brand. And sometimes, guys, you might bring in so much popularity and money to a different country. A different country might love you more than your own people. Believe me not, I know it's crazy, but it happens, you know? So David should do that. It would make a lot of sense. But I don't know, man. These guys have this crazy loyalty to PBC. And going back to Errol Spence, when he said that stupid asinine statement that Golden Boy don't treat black fighters well, yo, Errol, does PBC treat their black fighters well? And if they do, why are every single one of you guys starving right now? If they're treating you well, why don't you guys have a promotional network deal? Who is your guys' distributor, bro? Where's your guys' schedule, Errol? I thought Al Heyman was this fucking genius, this pariah. Where's he at? Where's your guys' network deals? See, one of the best things that a promoter can do is show your talents to the world, to give you a platform to reach millions of people's devices or homes. Can you say that the PBC and Al Heyman is doing that to their fighters? Where's Iamanta Stanionis? Where are all of these fighters that are on their payroll? Are they still getting stipends? Are they still getting, weekly checks? So this is what I'm trying to say. I don't think Al Heyman treats any of their boxers well. I think they use them as cattle. And when they're done with you and when you lose a couple of times, they're going to keep you extremely inactive. Bro, where are the Charlos right now? Where is Erislandy Lara? I know he just beat Danny Garcia, but bro, he should be fighting again. The dude's 44 years old. So for Errol to never, and nobody really checked Errol for those statements, it's hey, bro, do you still feel like Golden Boy is a bad promoter? Because I think what you did, I think you're a bad black person. Because what you tried to do to Derrick James, who knew you as a kid. Talk about that, Errol. But they won't. And I love Errol Spence, bro. I thought the fight that he had with Kell Brook, amazing. The fight with Sean Porter, great. Even the ass whipping that he received from Bud Crawford, dude, shocking. One of the most shockingest things and ass whippings that I've ever seen from an undefeated fighter giving to another undefeated fighter. There's, I've never seen an undefeated fighter get their ass whooped like that. And you can't even tell me one fighter that's ever been beaten up like that. That was shocking, bro. Yeah, can you think of a fight where an undefeated fighter got his ass beat like that? Like a true champion, dude.
Not really. They show that they were champion for a reason inside that fight, but it's that was one of those instances where you're damn, bro. How'd you did you really become world champion like that? He just did not look like, the same guy, and
that's one of the craziest things that I've could have possibly seen. I like that. I will probably forever remember that ass beating. Now, one of you guys might be like, well, what about Margarito when he destroyed Cotto? That would be a good one, but yeah, dude, that was shocking, bro. I've never anyway. So I hope Errol comes back and answers some of these questions. But yeah, the fact that PBC, one of the things about boxing, one of the things about life everywhere, right? It's if you if I work at a temp agency, one of the things that if you know they're a good temp agency is that they can constantly find you work. Because when you constantly find you work, you're working and getting a paycheck and you're feeding your family. When the temp agency can't find you work, what do? You go to a different agency, or you go to school and get educated, or X, Y, and Z, or you look for a different job. What happens when so why is Errol still being loyal to Al Heyman and PBC? Why are any of those fighters being loyal to PBC? It's like, bro, they're not finding you work. They don't have a network deal. Do you not see the sinking ship? When do you be like, aboard ship? When do you go on that little ferry, that little sailboat, and just dip out of there in the paddle boat and just leave? Bro, the Titanic is sinking, bro. It's leaving.
They get payments. I think they get payments.
I know it ain't enough.
Yeah.
Shit, like,
Yeah, because
fight paycheck to a like, man, I don't know, bro, but it's really I always look at it like this. Golden Boy is one of the best boxing promoters that there possibly could be right now. And I'll say this: is Golden Boy okay? Let's talk about this. Let's say Golden Boy in his 20 years of promoting has had 5 fighters that have actually talked bad about his name. Canelo, maybe Ryan Garcia. Let's say Errol Spence, because somehow Golden Boy don't treat black fighters well. And let's just say we're going to throw 2 out there. For the amount of fighters that Golden Boy has promoted, let's say he's promoted 10,000. To you and my knowledge, there's only been 3 promoters that talk bad about him. That really talk bad about him. That will probably no longer do business with him. That's Canelo. So let's talk about that. Canelo said that there's multiple interviews that Oscar the Lawyer is not loyal. That they don't even know what loyalty means. Okay. So was he not loyal to you when you failed your drug test against Triple G? What about when he got you the Mayweather fight and he told you don't fight him yet? Now you got mad because he wasn't there ringside because the dude was a drug addict. So Canelo wanted Golden Boy to be in his first loss to Floyd Mayweather. He wanted them to hold him in his hand and be like, "Hey, mijito, todo bien, bro." Oscar's not gonna coddle you like that, bro. But that's what Canelo wanted. That's where you can see a little bit of that beef rubbing off on him. But he protected him all the way. Canelo stayed after the Triple G, debacle of the drug testing and all that stuff. Oscar stayed with you, bro. He promoted the Chavez Jr. fight, stayed with you. And then he got you a big ass deal. 11 fight, 330 million guaranteed from DAZN. Why did you say that was a breach of contract? Oh, because in the stipulation, it stated that you needed to fight Triple G because that's what DAZN wanted. And you didn't sign off on that. And somehow you didn't see that Canelo. How was Oscar not loyal to you? He got you a network deal. He got you guaranteed money. And what? They wanted you to fight Triple G and you no longer wanted to? So you betrayed him, badmouthed his whole company and reputation, all of these things for many years. Oscar finally replies to you when he can finally get you on a scale when you're fighting Jaime Munguia, and he tells you. Then he puts a cease and desist letter on you and tells you, bro, if you keep slandering my name, I'm going to sue you. Right? Okay. Canelo says that Oscar the Lawyer is not loyal. Hey, bro, were you loyal to Eddie Hearn? When he got you all of those championship fights and stadium fights against Billy Joe Saunders, and you could have gave him the undisputed fight between you and Caleb Plant, because you have all the power, Canelo. What did you do? Oh, you jumped ship to PBC, and you give PBC and Showtime the undisputed fight, and you left Eddie Hearn with his dick in his hand in the cold wind. When you had 3-4 belts and you could have pulled Caleb Plant over to DAZN, but you left him. So how are you loyal? So it's funny how these guys say loyal. Let me go back to the documentary real quick. In the beginning right here, you see all these people badmouth him, right?
Career away to this man.
Golden Boy contract for you?
You are currently watching the moment he becomes a millionaire. You are also watching the origins of one of the most cutthroat stories in boxing as he signs his career away to this man. Who is this man?
He is a lying, two-faced, hypocritical sack of
And I hate him so much.
I got the proofs. I have proofs. Like he tried to steal money.
There's so much bitterness in him, and he's just a troubled man.
But before
It's funny how all of these three people that have nothing but bad things to say about Oscar the Lawyer, I guarantee you there's a lot of bad people, or a lot of people can say much more horrible things about Conor McGregor, Dana White, and Canelo Alvarez, bro.
And they're still about to work with Oscar De La Hoya, or Dana White's still getting into boxing and working with Oscar. It's like all that
hypocrisy, bro. The hypocrisy. You see, Canelo doesn't even start these fights, bro. He just ends them. Honestly, he literally ends them. And what I mean by that is, I already gave you guys the example of Canelo Alvarez. We don't even have to talk about Conor McGregor. Like, bro, if you're saying Oscar is a troubled man, bro, what are you, Conor?
Yeah.
Bro, like, let's not even go there, bro.
Yeah.
As for Dana White, dude, let's not even go there either. Now, let's talk about Ryan Garcia, right? This documentary. It's a very fun documentary. Guys should definitely give it a watch. So basically, they make it seem that Golden Boy is this really bad promoter, okay, and this bad person that's only looking to exploit Ryan Garcia. Okay, let's talk about it. We talked about this multiple times, but starts off with this, the Romero Duno moment. So for those that don't know, Ryan was an up-and-coming star, and Romero Duno was supposed to fight him. He was going to be a last-minute replacement because Avery Sparrow, he got locked up, okay? He got locked up, and they had Romero Duno on the undercard, and they basically told Ryan Garcia, hey, do you want to fight Romero Duno? And Ryan Garcia was like, no, dude, I'm not going to fight him because I haven't been training for him, and you're not going to catch me off guard. Then these rumors started coming out that Golden Boy said that Ryan Garcia was scared to fight Romero Duno. And that didn't sit well with Ryan Garcia. Eventually, the fight gets made. Ryan renegotiates his contract to get paid a little more, and he knocks out Romero Duno, right? And a lot of people will be like, nah, bro, this is where you can possibly say that the bitterness of both promoter and Ryan started to separate a little bit. Because it's like, bro, I'm one of your biggest stars. How can you say that I'm scared of anybody, right? You're supposed to vouch for me, not go against me. And Ryan felt Vince correct. It's all about making money. So Golden Boy has to sell the idea that Romero Duno is a threat to Ryan Garcia. This dude that's 5'2" is a threat to 5'11" Ryan Garcia. See, I can't, if I'm a promoter, I have to obviously vouch for my main star, but I have to sell to the people that you are in good fights. If I tell everybody, yeah, Ryan's going to knock him out in the first round, I need you guys to tune in for Ryan Garcia to knock him out in the first round. People are going to be like, I'm not tuning in, bro. Who is this dude? But if I say words like, yo, guys, Ryan ducked him, Ryan's scared, this guy's a big threat, people are going to be like, yo, bro, like, why is, bro, like, Ryan's in a good fight. So you have to sell your opponent to the people. Ryan doesn't understand that. How could he? Kid's 19 years old at the time, 20 years old. So he's just like, dude, how can you go against me? And Oscar's like, bro, this is just for show. Like, I have to sell the idea of Romero Duno being a threat to you, Javier Fortuna being a threat to you. I know you're going to knock him out, but I can't tell people that, because then now they're not going to tune in. But if isn't that what Tank and Floyd always do? Aren't they always arguing before a big fight? It sells. It gets people talking. But Ryan doesn't really understand the game yet. All right, let's forward 10 fights after. The Tank situation. Golden Boy wasn't in his corner and all that stuff. But Golden Boy was in your corner, Ryan. He was telling you, bro, don't give everything and the leverages to Tank Davis. Don't go down to 136. You haven't made that weight in a minute. Don't put yourself a 10-pound rehydration clause. You won't allow yourself to fulfill your weight. Back up. You're going to be weakened. And Oscar told him, you got to own that. Ryan don't like that because Ryan this whole time, he thinks he's ahead of the curve, that he's smart, that he knows the ins and outs of the sport of boxing. So this documentary almost wants to blame Oscar De La Hoya for being one of the reasons to exploit, and you're the reason why you made Ryan Garcia unhinged, and it's quite the opposite. Oscar was helping Ryan Garcia's business this whole time and actually caring for the kid. He sees Ryan, he's like, good looks, just like me, left hook, just like me, tall, just like me, this make money, just like me. If there's ever a person that can tell you about not sucking yourself down in weight, Oscar knows that. Later on in his career, he fought Manny Pacquiao, bro, at a catch weight at 145, 6 pounds, 44, when he was competing at 160, 168. He knows what it feels like, bro. And he's telling you, bro, from my experience to you, fuck your advisor, Guadalupe Valencia or whatever's. Listen to me. Ryan just cares about the money. And he's like, I want this big fight. I want this big fight. Goes on the Mike Tyson podcast, hot boxing with Mike and all of these things. And then Oscar don't want to be in your corner, bro. I wouldn't want to be in your corner either. I'd be like, I told you so. Shit, I tell my nephews that all the time. It's like, I told that was going to happen, bro. Like, I don't get the last laugh. I'm just telling you, like, if this comes down from wisdom. When you listen to somebody that has that experience and has visual representation that they can tell you, and they have records to prove to you, it would be a fool for you not to listen. Always listen if people have really good sound advice and it's reputable. That's the point. If you tell me, Drew, hey, Rick, shouldn't date that girl, bro. That girl is going to be dangerous to you. And you show me social media pictures and you show me videos. This is what she was doing. And I'm like, fuck. And they say I'm big time in love. And I'm like, damn, Drew, why'd you have to show that to me? And I'm going to be like, bro, I'm showing that to you because this is who that girl is before she met you. Now, a zebra might be able to change its stripes or dye its hair, but it's still a zebra underneath all that dye. And you're telling me this, and I would be a fool to be like, nah, bro, she'll change for me. Then 4 years later, she doesn't change for me, and I'm crying to your shoulder, and you're like, don't cry to me now, bro. Like, the damage is done, bro. They played your ass, and I told you about it. That's how it goes, bro. So it's like, for Ryan Garcia, it's like, bro, you made yourself unhinged. Don't blame everybody else because everybody else also got you to that position. Yes, you worked your ass off. Yes, you got into that position to have tremendous left hook and skills. You won 115 amateur fights. You also lost 11. You also were undefeated, made a lot of money. You have to own the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes down to everything in life. And it's the ugly truth and the beautiful lie, but you have to own that, bro. And a lot of people, that just comes down to taking responsibility. So when it comes down to documentaries like this, they're very good. It's a great recap, but it's not about making somebody else look really bad. Because by that same token, I can really protect Oscar De La Hoya, right? As you guys know, I like Oscar De La Hoya a lot. And Oscar De La Hoya, when it comes down to the fishnets and all that stuff, let it be known, guys, he is the victim. He's being blackmailed. He's being extorted, okay? But it takes two to tango. Oscar, why are you partying with these people? Go back home to your wife and your children. What are you doing, bro? You have a beautiful wife and your children. Go to them. What are you doing over here? So when you decided to party, you have to own that infidelity. But as far as being extorted and they trying to take money for you or they're going to ruin your reputation as this clean image, that's on them. But if you don't go into that room with those people, like they stole Julio Cesar Chavez's Jr.'s check after the Canelo fight, that's on you, buddy. You shouldn't have been there. So anyway, it takes two to tango. And in this particular case, Golden Boy was really trying to protect Ryan, especially from the Tank Davis situation, especially in that fight. You can't fault Golden Boy for not being there. Like, Ryan has to really be like, damn, Golden Boy was right. And that just shows growth. Vince goes, that part when they ask Ryan if he did coke, Ryan says no. Then Oscar moves his nose and sniffs. Bro, that's funny.
That's hilarious. That's fucking funny, bro.
Let me see if I can find it. I know what you're talking about. It's let me see. But you should watch this doc, Drew. It's really good, bro. The betrayal that made Ryan Garcia in the hinge. I will show it to you guys here, but it's 45 minutes. Let me see. Is it right here? No, it's the Devin Haney fight. Hold on. Move it fast.
For these promos, but I'm not even gonna react. I want to clarify clarify something.
Stop the coke. It's picking up your voice.
I want to clarify.
Bro, he does move his nose, bro.
That's wild.
Look at it.
Clarify something.
Stop the coke. It's picking up your voice.
This guy.
I want to clarify.
This guy.
Bro,
Oh man.
observation, man. Shout out to you.
That's just hilarious. Oh man. Hey, dude, this guy just does not care, bro.
That's funny, bro.
This guy just does not care.
Oh man.
Uh,
That's good stuff, dude. That's funny, man. Ah, shit. Fucking tear came out of my eye. That's good. Nah, man. It's a good documentary. It's everything that you know if you've been a Ryan Garcia fan. It's not everything you know. I'm sure there's a couple of things, but it pretty much summarizes and encapsulates, you know, the then versus the now. Let me ask you about Ryan Garcia, Drew. He tried to have a fight in Japan. Against this guy that, you know, I don't know, bro. The dude looked like a cruiserweight. He looked way bigger, and the dude was punking Ryan, bro, slapping him and pushing him and doing all these things.
mhm.
And you know, Golden Boy sued Ryan Garcia. He put a cease and desist and told him, dude, we are your main promoters. You cannot have anything in terms of televised content without us being involved and the zone. You have in your contract, right? You are signed to us that you signed off on, and you are a partner to the zone. You have to get us involved. So I think that fight is canceled, or I don't know, it's on pause. And people like to assume that Golden Boy is wrong here, right? And it's just like, no, dude. Ryan Garcia is in the wrong here. Why is Ryan not asking for permission to the zone and Oscar De La Hoya, bro? Because these guys are paying Ryan Garcia. They're paying and televising his fights. They're promoting his events. And they're doing all of these things for Ryan. It's common courtesy. It's just a courtesy to get approval. It's like if I'm asking for my dad, hey, Dad, can I borrow your 1947? Yeah, I don't know. And then just make up shit. 1947 Chevelle. And he's going to be like, what do you want it for? I'm trying to take this girl out on a date. I have to ask for permission. What happens if I just snatch my dad's Chevelle keys and something happens? He can be like, what the he gets a call from his AAA insurance and 911, right? The cops would be like, hey, yo, bro, your son wrecked your Chevelle. He's been into an accident, X, Y, and Z. He's going to be pissed. Duh. He's going to be like, you better fix that shit. You better go get a job and fix it up. That's courtesy, bro. Out of respect for your father and what that car is, you know, how much it costs and stuff like that, ask for permission, bro. Ask if you can take out the car keys. Tell him where you're going. Ryan is trying to bypass all these things. It's like, bro, you're in the wrong here, not Golden Boy.
And this is another thing too, right? Oscar is invested in this fighter, right? He should be worried about everything that he's doing. Like he is investing in his ability to, you know, in his career, you know. So any sanctioned bout that you're doing like behind his back, it's against the law. You know, it's against the law, and the guy or you know, the promoter is supposed to seek action, you know. So yeah, dude, it's not necessarily that he owns you. It's just like any other sport, you know. Like you see a football player playing basketball and he dunks. They see the video of him dunking. You're gonna expect the coaches to tell him like, hey, stop fucking playing basketball. What are you doing? You know. And this is a fight that he's completely doing behind Oscar's back. Like not even it wasn't even a clue that he didn't even have a clue that this shit was happening, bro. So it's like in what world did you think? Honestly, if me not knowing the law too well, I would have been like, I think I gotta tell Oscar, you know, like like that shit would just instantly pop up in my head. But this, I don't know, something off about Ryan, bro. I feel like one, he's either going through withdrawals or he's still like smoking or drinking, bro. Like it looks like he's having a horrible time. Look at his face. It looks like he wants a beer or he's had a beer. One or the other. You know? Can't you see
No,
it?
honestly,
He looks like he's bored. He looks like he wants some alcohol, bro. Like, I don't know, like you just see in his face, it's one or the other, and his mind just you can see in his face like he's going downhill, like mentally. Obviously, the left hook is always gonna be there, bro. Like once you get that muscle memory in, all those years of doing left hooks, it's something still there, but he's got to get his mind right, bro. Like before he goes downhill any further. But that big ass dude, actually, I seen him spar Alex Pereira, the dude from UFC, and he was laying hands on him.
this
Um,
the same guy that fought Pacquiao too.
no. That guy Anpo's a kickboxer. He's a
Uh,
kickboxer, but he's sparred.
G goes, man, stop it. That kickboxer wasn't punking nobody. He
Yeah,
just knocked the fuck out.
yeah. He doesn't have good punch placement. Like he doesn't know how to turn on his punches. He's just wild, bro, and he's athletic. You know, but he's size. Look at his size, bro. Like he's
He
bigger.
looks big, bro.
He's bigger than him, bro. So,
You remember that team from Tokyo Drift is like Gaijin.
hey, the reason why I like this guy too, Anpo, is because he actually, what I know he was talking in what was it, Japanese? Yeah, like I think he was speaking like Japanese, and he was like he had an interpreter, interpreter, and he was pretty much talking big shit against fuck this guy. Why are you being racist, bro? No, I'm just kidding. But
No. Is that how you say Gaijin? Racist? Nah, you don't remember this scene right here? No.
yeah.
It reminds me of this, bro. Come on, bro. Hold on. Let me fast forward real quick.
I've heard of that one song. Do you wanna go with me to casino?
So where are you from anyway?
Here.
No, I mean, not where you live. Where'd you come from?
Does it really matter where I'm from?
That's Anpo right there.
Ah,
Hold on.
this guy. It looks nothing like him.
Look. This is how Ryan got G-checked, the Mexican G. Check this out.
Ladies, hold that thought, all right? All right. He was just leaving. Not at all, man.
Mate. I'm sorry. I don't speak Japanese.
This guy. That's Otani right there.
That's what happened to Ryan, bro.
Nah. Hey, that looks.
Bro, look at Apple, bro. Like, bro, he just comes in here because he knows Ryan's all, out of shape, punking him, bro, pushing him, putting his forehead on his face, just like, look at this, boom. What's up, Gaijin? Almost broke Ryan Garcia's nose.
Hey, but Sean, the Mexican G said that the Mexican G said that the kickboxer was getting his ass beat by Sean Strickland, a UFC fighter. Let me say that Sean Strickland could be a boxer. I'm not sure if he could be a good one, but he's got really good hands.
Yeah, he's got good stand up on UFC.
Yeah,
I definitely say that.
And he's bigger.
But man, it's the endurance. Conor McGregor's good stand-up. He was doing good against Floyd Mayweather, but after 5 rounds, 4 rounds, the dude was gassed.
And
and it's just I don't understand it.
And this is a coaching standpoint, right? If I was like Sean Strickland's, if I wanted to like get Sean Strickland to box, I'll just tell him to do that more. Just do more cardio. He has the fundamentals already. Just get that. Once he works out like a boxer, you're gonna lose your legs naturally. So then most of the muscle is gonna be up top. I mean, that's how most boxers are built, but some of the muscles like permanent. So he's gonna have some kind of like footwork as well. I mean, I like his stand up. It's just I don't like his attitude at all. Like I don't like what he stands for. Like he just I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Sean Strickland. And he got his ass beat by Alex.
I don't really know too much about UFC, bro. I don't really know too much about. I don't really follow it. I don't like Dana White. I love Joe Rogan. I despise Dana White. There's just nothing for me to like about that dude.
Do you want to act? Do you want to act like you know?
I'm a big Oscar the Lawyer fan, so
Do you want to act like you know UFC and see how many viewers you get? No, I'm just kidding. Imagine just
bro,
go live, make a whole thumbnail.
I know how to wrestle. I'm actually really good at wrestling, and
I thought you were gonna say with my girl. I was like,
I know how to wrestle. I'm a really good wrestler.
Really?
But I don't really like to watch it. You know what I mean? Unless we're talking about WWE, and it's been really downplayed. My time was like Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, and when those guys are retired, I just lost that passion for it. Because they used to be really good, very athletic.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Paul did bring it back a little bit. Rey Mysterio with the high clicks, Rob Van Dam, Frog Splash, and all these things. But then when these guys started to age and retire, and there was these new guys, Kofi Kingston, it just really wasn't my thing, bro. But I don't know, UFC just really. I watched it when it was like Frank Shamrock versus Chung Lee out of San Jose. I was watching that during that era and that time. But then it was just like pay-per-view, and I missed out like on the Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz era just because, dude, I was like, I don't know, 15, 14 years old. I had no money to pay for it. So then when it became very exclusive and pay-per-view events, I didn't afford that, bro. I have cable television. But I know a little bit of what I'm watching, but I'm just not going to go out of my way to watch it. I think boxing is already expensive as it is, all of these pay-per-views and the zone and all these things. So, I don't think I can afford another subscription. The big G goes, man, I can't stand Dana White either. He talks tough, but he's never fought a day in his life. I wrestled in high school. I was terrible, but I never quit. I like that.
Yeah, bro. Like looking at everything with the UFC, like there's starting to be like a bridging. You're starting to see more people like at least trying to like put their faces on like on certain posts. Like you'll see a lot of like UFC fighters talk shit to boxers and shit, but that's what's actually happening with Dana. Dana's starting to come into boxing, but this is what is gonna happen, bro. They're gonna get washed. Like he's trying to set up some good boxers that they think is good at boxing in the boxing match. There's a dude in the UFC. He is a Spaniard dude, right? And I'm only telling you this because he's only getting knockouts with boxing. Like he's outboxing these guys, but he's super fucking flawed. And he's some Spaniard guy, and he's a UFC champ. I'm pretty sure one of you guys can name him, but in the comments. But this guy's like Spaniard, and yeah, bro, like they're just super flawed, bro. All of them are super flawed. And it comes with the game, right? Like they're so worried about getting kicked. And they're just so used to looking down. They're so used to Chihuihuis is Rojas. That dude, he's good too. He has really good speed, but again, like it just UFC fighters, they're so conditioned to drop their hands, and that right there is the first mistake you do versus a boxer, Again, at UFC terms, he's a beast. Like he does a lot of good things. And I only know UFC because of my cousin. And because of my timeline, actually, I'll run into UFC news too. But I'm still like super casual, when it comes down to it. But yeah, bro, like in a boxing standpoint, a lot of these guys got to drop their hands because they're worried about them leg kicks. And leg kicks, you just go to sleep, bro. Like,
yes, yeah. Why is it that these guys go 5-minute rounds, but they can't last in boxing, bro?
Because wrestling, bro, wrestling's 3-minute rounds, right? Wrestling, bro, is by far the hard. Like if you're a conditioned, when you're in your prime, right? When you're in your prime, you're sparring. 1 round was nothing, right? 2 rounds was nothing. 3 rounds was nothing too. But in wrestling, they act like they get more, like you're more tired. I feel like, because you're using so much muscle. and you're pretty much doing like an arm wrestling match, but with your whole body against another man.
Correct.
And pretty much
last in boxing.
Because boxing, I feel like you can actually like take breaks like low key if you're like a good veteran.
Correct. That's what I'm telling you. It's like these UFC fighters should not be having stamina issues.
Well, there's no
full body workouts, full body pressing, and like.
But guess what? Only a good.
Calm. Put your hands up. Like having your hands up. Because you said a statement right now that these fighters have to at the UFC they fight with their hands down. I get that. Because they have to worry about leg kicks and repelling them off and all these things. But you can't get that tired from putting your hands down to up. And that's the reason why these guys get all fucking gassed out. It's like, no way, dude. That can't be the only indicating factor. It's like, bro, you guys fight 5-minute rounds. If you're a championship, 5-minute rounds, 5-minute rounds. That's 25. In boxing, it's 12 3-minute rounds, 36 total minutes.
But to be fair,
7 minutes difference, bro. Like you should be able to compensate.
Yeah.
And all start off on stand-up kicks and elbows and high knees and shit like that. So it's just like, bro, you should be able to like.
And there is fucking fighters that actually do have boxing ability, and you're like, damn, this guy can really box, But Adesanya is really one of those fighters that actually showed boxing ability inside the UFC, But sometimes doing all that boxing shit, it's like it's not a glove that's gonna be touching you. It's a fucking like a fist with a really light glove around it, and it can protrude your defense a lot better. So keeping your hands up is almost it's like you have to have a different strategy as far as keeping your hands up, because you don't have that fat ass glove protecting your face anymore. So keeping your hands up might look good, but they're gonna still connect, maybe because they have good punch placement. And then also, I guess the only way UFC fighters can take breaks is if they have good jiu-jitsu. If they have good jiu-jitsu, there's ways to like have them in a clinch and then you're taking a break, and then you're like, okay, if you're like on another level with that shit. But most of those guys are wrestlers and don't have no boxing ability, bro. Like they just punch hard. And like there's a kid that kickboxes at that used to kickbox at Rock Boxing, and he spars Damien. He spars Damien sometimes. Kevin, his name was Kevin. I think you met him once or twice, but I don't know. He's like some Asian kid, but he's really wide open on his hooks, And I'm like, look, and I showed him. I was like, just keep him tight and just jab, Like you don't have to do hooks. Save your hooks when you get tired, And he just does it naturally. He's like, I can't stop throwing hooks. He's all, I'm like, I feel like I don't punch that hard when I jab. And I'm like, you don't have to punch hard. And see, that's the mentality with those fighters and boxers. It's like a whole different sport. It's like that's why Tyson thinks that he doesn't have to hurt you. You just tapping your head, boom, boom, So don't like, as long as he's making your head pop back, that's all that matters to him. But UFC fighters, they want to physically hurt you, and that's what I realized with that kickboxers like mentality. I'm like, man, I was like, just by listening to you talk, I think I'll box you, like respectfully, just because you don't get the sport completely, but it's a different sport.
That's why I'm a little perplexed when you said that Sean Strickland, because it's just different, it's apples to oranges. Yes, they're both fruits, but
he's shown me enough in sparring videos like that he can do it.
But yeah, so did that guy TJ Dillashaw or some shit.
No, he got chinny.
Chinny. I'll pull out the footage though.
But he got chinny though. He proved that he can't box.
Is when you sparring Lomachenko, you think, man, this guy is good. And the reality is this, man. The Mexican goes, wrestling is tough. 1 minute of sparring feels like 15 minutes. I agree. It's true. And that's why I'm very perplexed how these guys from UFC that can't translate to their stamina in boxing.
If someone's more stronger than you, they're gonna make you tired though. So it's all about strength versus who's stronger than you. It's hard. It's an invisible game that you can't see.
But in boxing, you're not really allowed to use your weight like that.
Right.
when they allow you to, you see it's cheating. Like Fury leaning on Wilder and Klitschko's leaning on Povetkin. That's not allowed. They don't allow that in boxing. You know, that's not clinching. That's not infighting. All of those things. No, those are illegal tactics. All right, by the rule books. I didn't invent the rules. It's literally there. The Mexican G goes, bro, you tripping. Jake Paul beat up every UFC fighter he fought, but lost when he fought a real boxer. No, it's very true. And that's what's, and the crazy part is I wouldn't even consider that dude that beat Jake Paul a real boxer. You're talking about Tommy Fury, and that guy is like an actor, you know, who did have like 10 amateur fights, but professionally, he's not even all that great. But yeah, Jake couldn't even beat him. He can drop him, and he was getting pieced apart by jabs and you know, straight right hands. Yeah, it's very interesting how the UFC, because I always look at it like this. Because UFC fighters and MMA fighters, they have to worry about so much other variables. Elbows, spinning back slaps, you know, slaps, punches, kicks, takedowns, all of these maneuvers, right? They can't even hold it down in boxing. And it's just like, you know, boxing is just punches, right? You don't have to worry about kick feints and fake attempts to take you down. Spinning backflips or anything of that. You know, you don't have to worry about none of that. And why can't you guys hang? You can. You would think that it would be an easier transition from an MMA fighter to turn boxer than it is for a boxer to turn MMA fighter. You know, I can definitely see why a boxer loses in MMA matches if all you're gonna do is take them down. Duh, they're not people that ever perfected or spend time on their back on a mat. It's all stand up, but UFC and MMA fighters, you would think, well, you start off the opening rounds, you know, opening minutes, opening seconds of the round on your feet. You can definitely make the transition to boxing. Hey, the Mexican G goes spinning backflips.
Hey, no, you said spinning back slaps.
I did say that, but I'm just
You said-
giving examples. Like you have to worry about fucking the kitchen sink and all of these things that can happen to you. In the
No,
and boxing is just like, bro, I just got straights, left hooks,
hold on.
and
You
then
said
your hands up, block, slip. That's it, bro. Like
hold on.
it's hard, but it's not that hard. You know what I mean?
You said spinning backhand slaps. I'm like, what the fuck?
Because you know how they spin and then like, God, they throw the back fist at you.
Oh, because the back like a pimp, like a pimp. That's funny, bro. When I heard that, I automatically seen Michael Jackson doing the spin with the back slap and saying hee hee.
Yeah, man. No, you're a good dog. But you know, you would think the transition. Going back to Ryan Garcia. All right, we deviated, guys. Apologize. When we talk about Ryan Garcia, man, I like the kid. I think besides that, him having a lot of talent, it's just I don't look. This is life. Life is all about opposites, right? The good, the bad, man, female, all of that stuff. Science, versus religion, all of that stuff. But I try to always try to remain consistent because it's just easier to live life being consistent. Um, I want to say I don't really like hypocrites, but if you can catch yourself from being a hypocrite, it's best not to be, right? And when I look at Ryan Garcia, that's what I see. It's a walking contradiction. When he complains about his fight versus Tank Davis, right? You signed the contract that you were going to fight at 136 pounds. You gave him 4 pounds and a rehydration clause. Tank didn't cheat you. He told you and you agreed upon it. Then, so that's not cheating because you signed the initial fine print. You were aware of the situations. Golden Boy tried to prepare you not to take those because you're really sacrificing a whole lot of things in which you don't have to cave into it. You lost the fight before getting in there. But what you did to Devin Haney, you actually cheated one of your childhood friends and friendly competitors. You literally cheated your friend. You see what I'm saying? And you agreed to fighting Devin at 140. You didn't make 140. You made 143.2, 143.4. And you paid him, right? Supposedly you paid him. But you cheated him because you missed weight on purpose. And you drank a beer was basically like rubbing it in his face, even more so. Telling the cameras that you tried making the weight, but not really if you're drinking beers in the weigh-in. But you cheated essentially your best friend, who you're supposed to respect, who you've beaten 3 times in the amateurs, and he's beaten you 3 times in the amateurs, and you guys used to go to circus in Las Vegas when you guys were in these amateur tournaments. That's your friend, bro. And that's who you decide to cheat and fuck over. And maybe you probably ruined Devin Haney's career because you destroyed him in the ring, and he can try to sue you and get it overturned by the New York State Athletic Commission, but that happened. So you might have broken his jaw, you destroyed his confidence, and you basically forced him to take you to court, right? Because you destroyed his image. And that's your friend. So you gave all the leverage to somebody like Tank, who you shouldn't really respect, and you disrespected Devin Haney this full time. That's where I'm just kind of like, and I preface this because I asked you guys next, what do you guys want out of Ryan Garcia in terms of his career going forward? The Mexican G goes, but Ryan isn't suing Tank Davis for battery. Correct. And that's how he's ruined Devin Haney. He's ruined Devin Haney's career so badly. What happened in those 12 rounds, that Devin doesn't know what to do with his career other than, bro, I want to sue you for battery because you cheated me. Yes, you beat me and you didn't make weight and you failed the drug test and you kicked my ass. Like, all of those things are just like, and that's how he's ruined Devin Haney psychologically, to the point where we ask ourselves, bro, can Devin Haney even bounce back? What's next for Devin Haney's career? I don't think Devin Haney can ever recover from this, bro. I think honestly, bro, I think he's probably traumatized. Because we've never seen Devin Haney in this, like, we've never seen this. We've never seen a fighter sue another fighter for battery. That doesn't really exist in the sport of boxing, bro. Like, do you know what sport and world you're in? That's like Drake suing Kendrick Lamar for their diss and the rap battles. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like an atheist going to church and suing the priest for speaking about the Bible and talking about scripture. Like, what? What are you talking about, bro? That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, I agree, the Mexican G. That's how bad psychologically scarred Devin Haney and his father are. That they're just putting stuff on the contract in terms of the lawsuit. It's like, we're suing him for battery. Like, you'd be like, what do you mean? Did he have, brass knuckles underneath his hand wraps? Like, what do you mean suing from battery? Do you even know the definition of battery? So I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Ryan Garcia, what's next? Like, when you guys go home, or maybe you guys have been watching the documentary in the background. I took it away, but like, well, what's next for Ryan? Hell, what's next for Devin? What can these dudes do to clean up their image respectfully? Ryan, is he a clean fighter? To me, it's like, bro, you're not learning your lesson. You're trying to circumvent Golden Boy and DAZN by fighting on Ryzen against Anpo without giving them. You need consent, bro. You need approval from, your management team to be able to do that. Again, you're trying to cheat the system. Bro, take your crime and punishment. You're trying to circumvent the action. You're doing what Tyson Fury did when he got caught in the UK and you went over to America. You got caught and busted in the United States, so you go over to Japan. You're not learning your lesson. And it lets me know that this dude doesn't care about being held accountable. Accountability is the word here. So what do you guys? Haney should fight Rolly Romero to bounce back. Yeah, that's actually a really good fight. That's actually very interesting. Damn, dude, that's where we're at with Devin Haney's career. Oh, damn, I don't even know why I didn't see these comments. Man, that's some soft ass shit, says the Mexican G for Ryan, for Devin suing Ryan for battery. The Haneys are supposed to be some Oakland goons, and they're suing like some little bitches. Haney should fire Rolly Romero to bounce back. Dang. Bro, that's where we're at with Devin Haney. He's got to reach so bad to Rolly Romero. I agree with you. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does.
Damn.
Low risk, high reward. Wouldn't mind that fight. Shows me where he's at. But if any fighter really is physically like going downhill, I think it would be Ryan, bro. And whenever you mix substance, you have a substance problem. Uh, and if you think you can manage it while trying to fight at a high level, that's some legendary shit if you can do it. But uh, I don't know. It's just he's not. It just his mind just don't look right, bro. Like it looks like yeah, he can get a rematch with Haney, but really what's gonna fix that is learning how to act in public and on social media when you're going through like promotion and all this shit, you know, just because he made a bad name for himself, bro. Like his rep is kind of like ruined a little bit just because of all the stuff he's been talking, bro. He just looks like a crazy man. And he's got a lot of cleaning up to do, and pretty much like he's got to become a whole new person almost for me to be like, yeah, he's back. You know, it's just he's not appealing to the public anymore. It's starting to be a little awkward now. Yeah, I mean, he's always gonna have his attention, but you know, for the hardcores that actually see what's actually going on, to Ryan Garcia's mentality, it just doesn't look good, man. It's just like it doesn't look like his eyes. Just by looking at his eyes, he just doesn't look like he's focused. He's focused on some other shit, and it's just the way he's been moving, man. It's just disappointing, dude. It's just Devin Haney don't got much cleaning up to do, but he let the rotten orange, you know, get to him. You know, like he kind of let Ryan get to him a little bit, and now he's actually stooping down to his level in a sense. He don't got as much cleaning up to do as Ryan. Obviously, he's not, you know, he's not talking, you know, not making racist remarks or anything like that. So I think with Devin, I feel like, yeah, it just feels like two kids just fighting over like a toy or something, you know, and they're just both crying, and you know, and Ryan's one that's like not giving a fuck as much as Devin. I feel like Devin's actually putting in work right now, and he's just being stubborn. Not stubborn. I don't know what to call it when you're negotiating for money. When somebody wants more money, you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. So I hope he has a valid reason to not to turn fights down because of the money, because I heard he turned down Tio or some BS like that. So and Tio's the one that's actually going out to Devin, you know. So I don't know. It's like, where's Devin's mentality too? You know, I feel like he's angry. You know, I feel like he's really angry, and I think he'll have a bigger bounce back. But I mean, the truth is that Chin's always been the little suspect, you know. So
Is it really though?
um
Like, you gotta understand, Jorge Linares, that dude can hit. Ryan
Yeah.
Garcia, that dude can hit. No one else has really like. I mean, they've hit Devin, but they don't like Ryan Garcia and Linares are guys that have punching power, right?
right.
The records speak on it.
I think he really does have a good chin, right? I think
You
Oh,
know,
you cut out, my bad. You cut out. You cut out, so I started talking.
oh no, what I was saying is like Jorge Linares and Ryan Garcia, those guys can hit. You know what I mean? George Cambosas, Jojo Diaz, all of these other fighters that Devin fight, none of those dudes wobbled. Regis Pro, none of those dudes wobbled Devin. So for him to like, does Devin have a weak chin? Well, he doesn't have the greatest of chins, but to be fair, those guys that are hitting him and that have hurt him, they're pretty big fucking punchers themselves. Like Linares did drop Lomachenko. We've never said that Lomachenko was chinny. And that was almost the same right hand that dropped Devin. And Devin held on for dear life. Ryan Garcia, that dude can probably knock out and knock down Lomachenko if he hits a left hook to the body. So are we gonna say that Lomachenko is weak to the body? No. It's just, bro, Ryan's got one of those killer left hooks, the signature punch, the coup de grace, the finisher, so it's just like, I don't know if I wouldn't necessarily say Devin is chinny. I mean, I'm not saying that he has a Canelo Alvarez, Triple G, and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. chin either. Hell no. But I will say is that the only two dudes that are able to hit hard enough with speed and intelligence and setting up punches, I mean, those are some pretty good fighters that Devin has faced. But I will say this, man. Devin Haney here is the victim. You know what I mean? I don't really like playing the victim card and all these things, right? But for all intents and purposes, bro, I told my brother, right, I was telling him, look, man, so do you guys know? I know that there's rumors that my nephew might have a fight in March, right? I don't know if this is true or not. And that's what the urban works is. So I'm thinking to myself, is he gonna have a fight in United States or in Mexico? And I told my brother, my nephew's father, right? I told my brother Speed, I told him, let me give you a scenario. What if you guys are supposed to fight at 122, 126 pounds? And, your son makes weight. But let's say that the guy in Mexico, the guy gets sick or he doesn't show up. And there's a guy that they tell you, hey, bro, do you want to have your son fight at 130, 135 pounds? Knowing that you were first told to make 126. And you paid all this money, you got sponsorship money, people have been giving you on your, so you can have travel expenses, sparring, and all these things. You got in your sponsors. And when you land to Mexico, all of these contracts start to change. You first agreed upon 126. Guy got sick, couldn't make weight. Now he's at 130 or 135. Do you take the fight on your first son's professional fight? Because when I was speaking to Justin the Stallion Cardona, he told me that in his third fight, he fought in Mexico, and I think he was fighting at 135 pounds originally. And he goes, my toughest fight was my third fight, and I was supposed to fight originally at 135. Dude didn't show up or make weight, and I fought a welterweight at 147. He goes, I still won, but it was fucking tough. That guy hit hard. So I told him, like, what happens if that's your kid in that situation? What do? The good thing is you walk. You just be like, hey, dude, like, and you shouldn't feel bad. And you just have to apologize, and maybe you can, kick some refunds back to your sponsors and let them know it's like, hey, dude, I tried. I made weight, everything on their end. They gave me an option if I wanted to make weight for a different weight class. And I haven't been sparring a lot of bigger men than me. It's been guys within my weight class. So I'm just trying to say these things happen. And if, let's say, my brother goes, nah, dude, we drove all the way all here. Family came here. We spent money. We bought hotels. Like, we come here to get fight experience. You win, you lose, but at least we get the experience. That makes sense if you're just trying to have an experience and have a one and done. But if you're trying to build a career, you better walk away. Devin should have walked away and been like, you know what? Kind of like how Rayo Valenzuela should have walked away from Edwin de los Santos once Jezreel Corrales' visa didn't get approved. Devin should have been, I need to fight whoever is supposed to replace Ryan in this situation. That's why backups exist, and then Ryan can fight on the undercard and he can fight some other dude that was there in case I didn't make weight and let them deal with that. That would have been the wiser thing to do. Yeah, maybe people call Devin a pussy. It's like, bro, you for 4 pounds? Come on, bro. You're a big asshole anyway. You're welterweight anyway. Yeah, but at least you don't have this fight happen where you're getting your brain rambled from left to right, looking like scrambled eggs at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So you have to make the tough judgment calls. See, Devin's career, it's been premeditated. It's been very thought out, from the franchise belt to going overseas to fight George Kambosos twice, right? It's been very, like, structured. It's been like Bill Haney and Devin, they've been on point. We're going to turn pro. We're going to have 15 fights in Mexico at the age of 17 years old. We're going to self-promote ourselves. We're going to team up with DAZN and Eddie Hearn. We're going to become a champions this way. Everything was smart, to the plan. The only outlier where they got it wrong, Ryan Garcia. because they gave everything to George Kambosos. They respected him. He's a champion. We'll fight in your backyard in Australia. We'll fight you 2 times after, everything made sense. This fight with Ryan, the Haney's, they played themselves. That's the first time where they couldn't control the circumstances or really and it was kind of like what Ryan did. Everything was well thought out with Ryan's career. You're going to fight this. You're going to fight this. We're going to try to have you fight Javier Fortuna, Jojo Diaz, Luke Campbell, then Tank Davis. Ryan was like, forget Jojo. Forget these dudes. I want Tank. And it's like, all right, you get Tank. So let's see if we can negotiate first properly at 140. Nope. They want 136. They want to rehydrate and put a cap on you. And Ryan was like, I don't care. I want this. Kind of like Devin probably told him, I don't care. I want this fight. I need this fight. I need a pay-per-view fight. I need to beat this dude so I can get Tank and Shakur and all of these fights, Teofimo. And they got it wrong. Ryan, like Devin, got it wrong. But the circumstances are completely different. You see? It's a really great learning lesson for everybody that's aspiring to learn. That's one of the beautiful things about this game is that, dude, there's so much variables. And you can never know everything. Because, look, you're going to forget a lot of these things. But to see the whole arc and everything unfold, it's a great story. And, but yeah, Drew, it's very true. Devin let, a rotten fruit spoil the whole bunch. And,
yeah,
man, dude.
Well put.
Fact, bro.
Yeah, man. And then I don't think, Devin don't deserve some of the heat that he's getting, but it's like, man, I don't know, he's famous and all this shit, or kind of famous, but in a boxing standpoint, he is, and you're gonna get a lot of hateful comments, and it looks like he kind of replies a lot, to fans, and he's willing to exchange verbally, and it's just you see it's just a lot of frustration coming out, from his end, and I think managing all that would actually fix his character. He'll probably look back and be like, damn, that was like fucking Ryan Garcia really had me fucked up. Like this guy, fucking made me look real bad in the ring, but not only that, he's
bro.
Yeah, and he just kept talking shit, looks bad, and it's like, man, I feel I feel his anger, like he feels really cheated. And just the way he goes about shit, and he wants to say racist shit. It's like, damn, bro, why am I still getting heat? And it's and it's like it's also like the you're suing Ryan and all this shit, and you officially getting the it's a tough pill to swallow, bro.
And all memes, bro, of Ryan holding his son, and dude,
it's probably pissing him off, bro. Honestly, I think it's more than about money. He really wants to fuck him up now.
Would you entertain a rematch? Is that where the Mexican Rolly and Devin would be a good fight? If they went straight to it, Devin and Ryan next year, 2025, is that the move for both dudes?
Yeah, if it's doable, then yeah, bro. If Ryan is
147 rematch, boom, cool.
Yeah, if I'm able to do it, I just hope Devin don't do steroids on his ass, and gets him on the get back, He's like, I don't know, I'm just fucking around, but I hope he does get his lick back, bro. I want him to get his lick back. I hate how Ryan did him. Congrats to Ryan. He's got a monster left hook, but it's just, man, it's all I really respect fighters, how they carry themselves. I'll give you your props, but I ain't gonna give you any more than that. Dudes like Usyk deserve all those flowers and all this. He makes it easy for us to talk highly of him. When it comes down to Ryan, he just made it difficult, bro. It's super hard to. It's hard to back this man up, and yeah.
And you're making really great points. Just changing the subject just a little bit. It's revolving all these guys, but I'm gonna just give you a case in point with Tank Davis, bro. Are we being extremely hard on Tank Davis? I went with a hike with Speed the other day. We went to Toro Park,
Ooh.
probably like 4 or 5 miles. And what you may call it, we were just talking about whether we're being very hard. Like I know I would define ourselves as hardcore boxing fans, right? And are we being too harsh? Like, let's say, in case example, Tank Davis. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is like this dude has fought back to back to back. Probably his last 5-7 opponents, they're all undefeated fighters. Mario Barrios, Ryan Garcia, Frank Martin, Rolly Romero. I don't even know who this dude has fought in his last couple of fights. But let's just say they're all back to back undefeated fighters. And why is that not good enough?
Sorry, say it again. I'm sorry.
I'm saying is this: are we being too harsh on these boxers? Like
With Tank.
social media, because of YouTube and all of these things, they're so reachable and they're in a text away or a YouTube link away to really know so much information about them, right? That it's like, are we being too harsh? As hardcore boxing fans, are we being too harsh on these dudes? Like, oh man, they gotta be undisputed. When it's like, and for example, on Tank Davis, this dude is knocking out back-to-back undefeated fighters. Like, I have to stress how difficult it is to beat another man, to beat his ass, like fuck him up, bro. That's not an easy thing to do. Let alone to knock another person cold out. It's not easy to do. You know what I mean? So in order to, and now imagine trying to knock out an undefeated fighter who feels that he's untouchable, that there is no blueprint to beat him, right? And Tank is doing it essentially like maybe his last 10 opponent. Let me check it out real quick. Hold on, I'll use my phone over here. Let me see. I want us to see how many undefeated fighters Tank Davis has fought on. Gervonta.
Yeah. I was gonna go in somewhere in the lines of the Mexican G. He kind of deserves the criticism, but as long as he says like things like, "Oh, I want to show that these guys really aren't that," like I want to show them that, then show us, like he literally says that, and it's like, bro, stop claiming to be the best. And I think he's shied away from that.
But
And he's also been a little more and more direct the further along he gets with all these cherry picking. And I think he deserves a criticism as a boxing fan standpoint. He's not there's really not much we can judge as far as like his boxing career. Like at this point, bro, like he's dealt with all that BS with the law. We can't really he's really staying out of trouble this time around. So it's like, dude, like it's like he's not trying to come out anymore and say that he's like the best anymore. Like I haven't really heard him say too much in those lines, so I think he does deserve some criticism, but at the same time, especially actually for his canceled fights, I think he deserves. If you're talking about that, then yes, like absolutely.
So we'll get to the canceled Lamont Roach fight, but I'll say this: in his last 7 fights, 6 of them have been undefeated fighters. Frank Martin, Ryan Garcia, Hector Luis Garcia, Rolly, Isaac Cruz was 1 loss, and then he had Mario Barrios, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say when you compare those list of fighters, Mario Barrios is a good fighter, bro. So is Isaac Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz is a very good fighter. Rolly Romero and Hector Luis Garcia, probably not that good at all. Ryan Garcia and Frank Martin, those are good fighters. You know what I mean? Like, those are good fighters, bro. Good, undefeated fighters. And Tank is knocking them out. That's pretty incredible, right? Now, I'll say this. In the scope of his, when we compare, right? Because comparison is like the thing that ruins like a good thing. You know what I mean? When you compare certain people to a person, a girl is hotter than this other girl, this sport is better than this other sport, this promoter is better than this other sport. It just deviates from just really being appreciative of what you have, right? And that's what happens when you compare certain things. When we look and compare Tank to a Teofimo, a Devin Haney, a Ryan Garcia, a Shakur Stevenson, Tank's got a pretty good resume. Because Ryan hasn't really beaten legitimately a champion. He's never been one himself. When he had the opportunity to essentially become undisputed, or no, not undisputed, because the fight wasn't at 135, but it was at 140. To be a 140 champion, he didn't want to do it legitimately. He found a loophole, and he found an exploit that Devin would go for the money rather than go for the victory and sell himself short. Tank beat Mario Barrios. That's a good victory, bro. That's not bad. Same thing with Pitbull Cruz. Same thing with Ryan Garcia and Frank Martin. Those are good fighters. Shakur Stevenson, if you were to look at his resume, it's really not that great. But it's 3-time division champ. It is beating an Oscar Valdez, right? So what I'm trying to say is, kind of like Vince was saying, fans are easily influenced by the negativity they surround themselves with, and the haters can sway our judgments towards these fighters. And, I'm a fan of Tank. I'm a fan of Ryan. I like Tio. I like Shakur. I'm a fan of all these dudes, Devin. But, I feel like I respect Tank's skills, but I don't respect them enough where I want to put him on the pound-for-pound list. And to the Mexican G's point is yeah, Tank deserves this criticism. Because at the end of the day, it's like, you're seeing guys like Teofimo Lopez actually fight the guys like Lomachenko. And Tank entertains these fights only on social media. So you tease us, and then you go fight the Joe Schmoes on your block, the Lamont Roach, the Frank Martin. And it's like, bro, you're supposed to only get bigger and better and bigger fights after Ryan Garcia when your moment is so high. What are you doing? Fight Frank Martin? Why not Shakur Stevenson? Why not Teofimo Lopez? Why not Lomachenko? Why are you going back to fighting prospects? So, but in the scope of it as well, just to retract and salute to you for beating those dudes though, because that's pretty cool. It's not an easy thing to do. We respect, we like knockout artists. That's what we do. We actually always talk about how boxing should incentivize, and bring back the knockout of the night, performance of the night, so these fighters can actually give the fans entertainment. Tank does that. So Tank crosses all the check marks, so all the boxes, but it's but who are you doing it against? Could you knock out Devin, Lomachenko, Ryan Garcia with no stipulations, a Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, a Josh Taylor? Because you say that, oh man, I remember when we sparred, I touched that chin and you had me. So if you have that confidence, bro, what's the holdup? You're not getting any younger. So it's just I don't know, man. I at some point I'm just thinking to myself, bro, chill, Rick. You're being really harsh. But at the same time, I'm like, man, fuck that. Because that same praise is we want to give it to these younger fighters who we like and follow. But at the same time, the guys that we're supposed to give praise and like and follow, like Beterbiev and maybe Bivol and Alexander Usyk and, Canelo Alvarez, we want to put these young kids ahead of these dudes. And it's in what world? When these guys have to do, let's talk about Madrimov, right? Or even Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz hasn't really had a real fight. He has 2-3 flash opening rounds where he drops these dudes, and then he fights a real killer, Bohachuk. It was damn, you went life and death with Bohachuk. That's a good fighter. He just beat Brian Mendoza. That's not an easy dude. And then he's going in there and fighting Madrimov. What? That scary ass dude that has 2 trainers and Joel Diaz, and he just almost beat, and in my opinion, he beat Bud Crawford. And that's who Virgil is fighting? God damn, Virgil, you a badass motherfucker, bro. Wow. And then here's Tank Davis fighting a Lamont Roach Jr. after a Frank Martin. And I'm and we have the audacity to say that Tank is a fucking beast? What? No way, bro. Virgil he beat 2 dudes. I don't even know who they were. And then he fights Sergey Bohachuk. And then now he's going to fight Madrimov. bro. And if he wins that, he's probably gonna fight that dude that destroyed Tim Tszyu, right? In like 5 rounds, that had Tim Tszyu's face like from canvas to canvas, post to post. And then after he fights that dude, he probably become undisputed to fight either Bud Crawford or the other kid, Sebastian Fundora. And here's Tank Davis still trying to find the Lamont Roaches of the world. He'll probably fight Michelle Rivera next, Rayo Valenzuela. And I'm like, bro, you fucking coward. But I'm thinking to myself, damn, Rick, chill. Like, he's still knocking out undefeated dudes. But I'm like, bro, when you compare him to what his other younger dudes are doing, it's like you can only knock Tank Davis, bro. You can't even try to uplift them. You know, I don't know, bro. Maybe I'm like, I don't know. It's just I find it a little bit strange. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's hard. It's a hard, it's hard because he's actually saying what he wants out of this, out of his career, before, I mean, the thing is, it keeps evolving, right? It keeps evolving, and he keeps wanting to shy away. Like every year, he's getting more and more clear on him not wanting to want the belts and just wanting big fights. He says it louder and louder every year, but sometimes, I mean, not anymore at least, but last year, prior, like 2 years ago, maybe he was saying, oh, Shakur, Devin, they're all in the next couple of fights, so all that was just a big letdown, it's just, and it's hard, you see him, being straightforward, and it's like, you can't make anybody fight, just get out of my way. That's it. Just get out of my way and stay out the picture as far as like who's the best at 135. And or pound for pound as well, because at this point no one thinks you lose at 135, unless it's Shakur, so even fighting Shakur, bro, like it was just like you still need to clean out Devin. You still need, there's so many guys at 140, you gotta beat like Pato, like you gotta beat the guy who beat the guy, yeah, man, it just sucks, man. You can't make dudes fight, and I feel like he does deserve the criticism whenever he's in available to media, or whenever he's promoting a cherry pick fight. He deserves to answer, like he deserves to get asked those tough questions. And yeah, they like, and shout out to the reporters that actually do give him like a hard time,
do
what happened?
you think they actually do give him a hard time? Because I've never
um
heard a reporter ever like say bad things about him. If it's Ellie Setback, that dude protects him like nobody. Like, damn, bro, like you think like, bro, is that your boyfriend or some shit? You know what I mean?
yeah, well, I'm saying a hard time as far as like just asking the question as it is, like not even trying to like instigate, because he don't even let you instigate. He just shuts you down. And it's like, that's all we needed to see. We needed to see you crumble up after being asked specific questions about Shakur, or, like we want to see you, we want to see your answer, your genuine answer. Um, and when he gives it, you see the fear in his eyes. You see him starting to make up excuses, and it's just super obvious at this point, that it's a giant duck. Like, I think it got even more obvious, during the press conferences, during what's his name, Lamont Roach. He was saying, "Oh, what has he done? What has he done?" And it's so obvious, bro. It's like he's got a belt, bro. Like, what do you think? What do you mean? But I mean, no one's gonna. As far as reporters giving him a hard time, no one really said, well, he's got this, he's got that. No one really like, added anything,
They asked him how he got the fight, and then Tank was like, "Man, I don't even know how I got this fight. Like, he talked to some person, and
yeah.
I was like, how do you not know
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you have a say tank. You're like, bro, I'm not fighting that dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Us
yeah, it's hard.
fun. Let me read a couple of these comments, man. Let me just go. Salute to you, Warp Speed. Warp Speed goes at Vince Vargas, at the Mexican G, homie, and Dream. Good evening, Paul, and good Christmas Eve. Gilbert Speed. No, Tank deserves the criticism. He's not giving the people the fights that we want to see. He's not giving the people the fights that we want to see. I think haters. Oh, I read all that. Hey, I'll give you a call back in a little bit, okay?
What?
No,
Oh,
I'll give you a call.
she's like, your food's ready. Nah.
She's making choco flan from scratch, and she makes this, dude. It's so bomb, bro. I'll try to take a picture. I don't really be posting on social media, but dude, she like, oh, dude, it's freaking good, bro. And then she puts like these pecan, or was it cashew? I forgot. We kind of like,
Yeah.
and it's delicious, bro. It's like, oh, I don't even want to talk about it because
You don't want to give away the recipe.
no, I'm already drooling over here. I didn't like right here.
Cochino.
The crazy part is Tank is getting in the way of his own greatness. I think that Tank beats Shakur and him. And you know what? I agree, bro. Where's that comment at? And that's what sucks. Vince goes, Oscar the Lawyer was one of the baddest dudes after Julio Cesar Chavez. I didn't like Oscar because of the Vargas rivalry, but little did I know I was watching a living legend. Yeah, man. I was always a big fan of Oscar. I was a big fan of his Shane Mosley fights. I just loved Oscar De La Hoya's story, just point blank, period, from the onset. When I first heard about it, and my mom would talk about it, I was just a big fan of it because he won gold for his mom, who died and was battling cancer. So that to me was just like hell yeah, bro, el orgullo, and really respecting his mom and things of that nature. So in honor of, that's the greatest accomplishment that you can possibly do. And that to me was just like the baddest vato in the world. I was just like, dude, that's fucking dope. Like there just nothing can beat that. It's like for me to be able to do something like that would be to buy like my mom a little casita, bro. You know what I mean? It's just like, damn.
Casita.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like a home, like, damn, bro, like I was able to do that. Like that would be like equivalent to, setting your mind to a goal and to, the mother that brought you and raised you into this world. Like to me, that's untouchable. That's why like I always kind of put my Superman cape on for Golden Boy, because I just feel like I don't ever feel like he's ever done anybody truly wrong other than like his immediate family. But that's why I don't really talk about those subjects. I just talk about professional.
So if you're listening, Oscar De La Hoya, we have a fight by the name of Damian Vargas. Nah,
Let me see a couple of these comments. Let me see. The Mexican G goes, really? I feel like Vargas started all the beef. Yeah, man, Vargas, he did start all the beef. He was clout chasing Oscar. War Speed goes, Vince, are you related to the Vargas? Because back in the day, I think one of our cousins said Fernando was related to us. I think from the same part of Mexico where my folks are from. Vince, he goes, he did. I'm a Vargas, so you know who I follow closely. Plus, my mom lived in Ventura, close to Oxnard. Family there too. That would be crazy. Warp. Imagine. Vargas seemed envious of Oscar, says the Mexican G. He wanted to be the Chicano representative, but he was overshadowed by Oscar. Warp Speed goes, yeah, but who knows if it's true. Vince goes, very true, Mexican G. Golden Boy. Watching the Oscar Whitaker fight now, I watched every fight Oscar had. Yeah, her choco flan is delicious and different to others. I don't like cake, but I like flan. But my sister's flan is so good. But now at my advanced age, I can watch and respect the skills he had. What a fighter. Advanced age, Vince? And these guys start laughing. Advanced age level 3. Yeah, man. I like Fernando Vargas, but I didn't like him so much as a boxer because he talked a lot of shit. And but he's a good fighter. And I liked him. I became a really big fan of Fernando Vargas in that movie Alpha Dog. I don't know if you guys remember that scene, but
yeah, bro, I've known of Fernando Vargas since I was a little kid, man. So if this guy was that famous, where me, a little kid, was able to remember this guy, like I was probably like in elementary school, and he was famous for his that haircut, you know, with the bangs in the front.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I've always remembered him for that as a kid, bro. Like one of very few boxers that I knew, it was Fernando. Go ahead, play.
Correct.
Press
Yeah,
play.
absolutely. Yeah, I know. Very true. Very true. I thought they were fantastic, man.
Press play, bro.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I know. Yeah, dude, that's a very good movie, by the way. And it's very sad. Um, yeah, it's very good. It's definitely, if you guys never seen it, you guys want to watch it. Good movie, tragic movie, also based on a true story. It's called Alpha Dog. It's actually a story that's based around the LA Ventura region, actually. And you guys should definitely watch it. It's very good. And yeah, it's definitely worth a watch if you guys haven't seen it. I repeat, it is Alpha Dog. So it's a very historic piece right there. Yes, dude, Justin is hilarious in that movie. Very funny, very very funny. The Mexican G goes, Alpha Dog was a good movie. Vargas was actually a very good actor. Yeah, that's when I actually became a very big fan of Fernando because a lot of those moments. I believe Fernando Vargas was trained by Robert Garcia's brother, Danny Garcia. Or maybe he was trained by Robert Garcia himself. I don't really remember. And I liked Fernando, but yeah, man, when I had a big I was a big fan and still am a big fan of Oscar. So when I seen Fernando like push him and call him all these words, I was like, damn, bro, like chill. But yeah, it is what it is. But that's when I became a fan of Fernando. He's lucky Fernando's killer instinct didn't kick in. Yeah, no, he was really good. He's out trying to do the little shuffle on him. It's fucking funny. Warfield goes, I haven't seen the movie in about 5 or more years, but I watched Training Day 2 days ago. Great and suspenseful. The Mexican G goes, nah, he wasn't trained by his brother. He was trained by Robert's dad. Correct. Yeah, the big G. Yeah, no, man. Something like that. That actually makes a lot of sense. Look, guys, we talked a little bit about Usyk versus Fury. We talked about Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, shenanigans, and all of these things. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about? We also talked about David Benavidez and Tank and all these things. Just a little recap just to finish off the year as the year closes out. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be mistaken, Sam Goodman, he suffered a cut in camp in preparation for Naoya Inoue, who is supposed to fight in a couple of hours from now, right? Because they fight in Japan. Speed, I know you're a big Naoya Inoue fan. Is that fight still happening tomorrow or no?
Yeah, good question, bro. I don't know. Yeah, let me see. That's happening tomorrow, you said? Inoue versus Goodman. Let's see. Goodman fight. So
Because
I'm looking right now. It says that it's still on, bro. It's still
it
on.
does say that it's still on, but it's weird, bro.
Yeah, and I'm on a box. I'm on a Reddit, so I'm trying to find somewhere where it says that like this guy's like gonna cancel the fight or. So far, bro, like nothing, no news. Yeah, nothing is indicating that there's gonna be nothing, bro. And I'm reading like the latest, like an article from like 3 days ago, gold.com. And it says, yeah, everything's all good. So I'm like, I like, yeah, I don't see no indication. But if he's cut, bro, I mean, he's like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna just go in and give him my best shot because this guy, anyway, probably knock him out regardless. What do you think? Because I don't know too much about.
Dude, I was actually thinking Sam Goodman would win. Sam Goodman is good, bro.
Really?
Yeah, no, I like Sam Goodman. He fought Reese Alim, very fast, very strong. This dude is crafty. You know, he's one of like those Leon Paro fighters, bro. He's really good at that weight class. This is gonna be Naoya anyways toughest fight that he's ever had at 122. Bro, there's so many fights that Naoya hasn't faced and fighters that he hasn't faced, like Sam Goodman. He's better than Marlon Tapales, probably better than all of those dudes. So I don't know about that, bro. I'm just gonna be rooting for Sam Goodman. Nah, honestly, he's got really good skills. He's fast and strong, and he's smart enough to understand that he's understanding that he's fragile right now with a cut, and he's willing to postpone. My thing is this, though, Sam, is you have a cut on your eyebrow. 2 months or a month of rescheduling, late January, early February, it's not enough time to heal that. So you're smart to pull out. You're not smart enough to realize those cuts need more time. You know, and Naoya's hitting like that. He's hitting like that with winning gloves. So he'll be able to cut up, and he's going to target that side of your face. So all I'm saying is, shoot. Yeah, dude, I had big hopes for Sam Goodman. That's a fighter that, you know, I don't mind sprinkling a little bit of dust on it because that guy should nowhere ever be, you know, a 12-1 underdog. That's like Bivol 12-1 underdog against anybody. You don't do it. Sam Goodman is really good. Now, I do favor Naoya, but again, Naoya is fighting dudes that he's supposed to knock out. TJ Doherty, old ass Nonito Donaire, or an older version of Nonito Donaire, you know, Marlon Tapales. I think Sam Goodman beats these dudes, you know. Vince Vargas goes, rest in peace, Ricky Henderson, my favorite player of all time. I have every baseball card he came out with. Wow, dude. Nice, man. Yeah, rest in peace, Ricky Henderson, man. I know he was a great player for the Oakland Athletics. I didn't grow up to watch him. I know that he's a Bay Area legend, and especially if you're an Oakland A's fan. My favorite player is Barry Bonds. I collect a lot of newspapers of Barry Bonds during the time that he was on the road, and I have a couple of them framed. But yeah, man, so I can understand the profound impact that the passing of a legend to you, Vince. So rest in peace to Ricky Henderson, man, and hopefully you're able to remember some of his great memories. If I'm not mistaken, he just probably passed like a week ago, a couple days ago, correct? So yeah, man, rest in peace.
Yesterday.
You know, it's just life, isn't it? Just the days, you know, are long and the years are short, and it just feels like it keeps getting shorter and shorter. And you ask yourself, man, guys, where does the time go by? I don't know, man. I don't really know how I would be able to slow down time for you guys. It's just, it goes fast, bro. It goes extremely fast. Next thing you know, you wake up and you're 30 and 40 and 50, and you're like, holy shit, where did they go? But yeah, man, salute to you, Ricky Henderson. Rest in peace, brother. And thank you for all those great childhood memories of just baseball, bro. Just being part of that culture. Yeah, man, sucks. But my bad, Drew. You were saying something? Anything boxing related? My bad.
Nah. I mean, yeah. What was I talking about before? Oh yeah, fucking the Sam Goodman. That's why. But yeah, nah. So I was just gonna cap it off with Sam Goodman doesn't have a lot of knockouts in his record. He's not getting him out of there. He's not Luis Neri. Luis Neri, you know, actually came with something as far as like punching power when it came down to that fight against Inoue.
Yeah.
But he was on the downfall at the same time. But this guy seems more of a boxer, a true boxer. But the only way I would like have my like eyes like open big like is if this guy was like coming down from 126 or 130. You know, this guy's whole career is at 122, just where it's at. And he goes the distance with a lot of guys that he should be getting out. And I don't think he's gonna go the distance with this guy with Inoue. It seems like he likes to go the distance a lot.
Yeah,
But
man,
looking at a paper.
I think he'll surprise you, bro. If you watch the Luis Alim fight, he's really good fighter. Obviously, Naoya Inoue is really great himself. He's very explosive, very fast, in and out, very fidgety. He doesn't telegraph his punches. He can throw anything with both hands. Damn near ambidextrous, athletic, strong, fast, witty. He sets a lot of traps. Yeah, Naoya Inoue is a complete package. Sam Goodman, it was gonna be strong and cut out for him. But make no mistake, man, he does have power and enough to respect that you're gonna have to respect it. But at the same time, Naoya is very proudful, bro. That dude is Yakuza, you know. Don't fuck around. I don't know if he's Yakuza, but you know, he's very good. There's always gonna be a very good fight. I was actually really looking forward to that one. Extremely. I like Sam Goodman's skills. I would have liked, yeah, going back to Luis Netti, I would have liked Luis Netti and Sam Goodman to fight, but be that as it may, it just lets you know that Naoya Inoue isn't untouchable. Now, to be fair, Luis Netti, he's good, bro. He can crack. He's always been a very good little fighter. It's just, I feel like he has to be a little more active and really be more in his like understanding that you can amount to a lot of great things, Luis Netti. But from what I heard from some trainers, that he likes to drink and he likes to party. So he'll train hard. He's a great fighter, but he likes to do those things as well. But yeah, man. There's I think Speed said that the fight is canceled and it's gonna be rescheduled to January and February.
Wow.
So I think they're just gonna be football during Christmas. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are playing.
Damn.
I think the Houston Texans are playing Baltimore Ravens. I think they're just gonna be football more on the holidays. But and then college football probably at the end of the weekend as well to cap it off. Look, man, I'm a big fan of Deion Sanders. I like Deion Sanders. I like him as a coach that he's doing in Colorado Buffaloes. His young receiver that plays defense and offense, Travis Hunter, he just won the Heisman. And just to just change up from talking boxing, a lot of people are on his case and telling him that his fiance is a red flag. Have you been keeping up on like my whole feed, bro? Is literally about that. I watched one Deion Sanders post or one thing about Travis Hunter, my whole page becomes all that because it's circulating. Everyone's talking the 2 cents. Lil Bow Wow is talking about it. Maze is talking about it. Michael Irvin, like Cam Newton, everyone is talking about this. I'm sure that you're even aware of this. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, man. I only want to talk about this if we have over 100 live viewers. No, I'm just kidding. Because that's how many viewers we should get right now. No, I'm just kidding. Everyone, bro. It's just what comes with it, bro. These kids. These kids got like a whole show. They had a whole show. Like their whole life is almost documented on fucking YouTube, bro.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just one of those things, like they're gonna be famous because they were born rich, and it's rare to be rich and be good at football when you've been rich all your life, So you got to give them that, like these kids grew up with a famous rich father, and they're actually good at football, and they're actually gonna be like deserve to be the first round picks, So, Travis Hunter. That's like the main one though. Travis Hunter is the guy that pretty much, it's the best recruit that Deion Sanders has ever had, but I think he's like kind of not washed, but like they built him up a lot. I don't see nothing too special. Sorry, we're talking about football, but fucking yeah, that the reason why everyone's talking about it is because it's chick and shit. Like they're the chick, and then they Travis Hunter's wife is like going viral. I don't know, she's doing some bad things behind the scenes, and then that along with the draft, so yeah, that's why'd you want to talk about that, not boxing?
Well, no, because college football, like the Bulls, a lot of these are going on. I think you have Ohio State going up against Oregon, the number 1, number 8. You have Boise. I forgot who they're playing, but
they're out of the playoffs.
Who's out of the playoffs?
Colorado.
Oh yeah, Colorado. Yeah, Colorado is playing like I don't know BYU, who they're like rated. Let's say if Colorado is rated 25, BYU is like 23 or something like that. But no, man, no, it was just something like a little different segue topic to talk about. You know, it's just like the way I look at it with Travis Hunter, man. Yeah, dude, like it's really none of my business, all of that stuff, but it's just very interesting. And I'm actually going to agree with a lot of those comments, bro. The Travis Hunter has to be very careful. He has to be very careful, and that's all I'm gonna say, dude. You know, very young. You know, there's been some comments that she says. At least she's open with it. It's not like she's lying about anything. She's addressed every single thing that people have asked. But that's one thing. It's like what I've always said is, and this is not what I've always said, but it's just what like it just seems common to me. If you put your relationship out there in the internet, I'm pretty sure it's not going to last. You know, a lot of these things, and a lot of these people, when that put their lives out there like that, it just seems that you're opening yourself for criticism, and I'm pretty sure like 85% of it can't handle that. You know what I mean? They can't handle that criticism. They can't really handle internet and doing all those things, you know? And that's why I just feel like they shouldn't really be putting their business out there like that, because that's what the internet does. You know, something will always resurface and it'll always be brought to light, regardless how good you think you are at masquerading or circumventing certain level of attention. It's very difficult to really, if you're going to try to live a really good low-key life, it for the most part has to remain private. You know, if it doesn't, good luck. Even to the most people that you feel that could be untouchable, you can trace them if you really like dig in deep. But yeah, man, I just wanted to see if you knew a little bit about that subject with that kid, Travis Hunter. Cool kid, man. He seems to be cool. But yeah, man, sometimes they don't really know how to pick him. But I remember there was a story about the soccer player that played in La Liga or something like that. And he was like 17, 19 years old, and he got a big contract, and he put all of his money into his mom's name. So when the girl tried to divorce him and try to get some alimony or whatever's, he was like, I don't have no money. All my assets are under my mom's name. So hopefully Travis Hunter is able to do something like that, because, you know, like you have to really look out for yourself. And I don't know. I just thought it's very interesting. Vince goes, don't know if Inoue gets those casual fans because he doesn't fight in the States. War Speed goes, so can we do relationship talks with the homie for tomorrow? I want in on it, but not available today. Yeah, man, if you guys want to talk other stuff in boxing, I'm always down with it, you know, to converse about certain topics. I don't know too much about relationships like that. You know, haven't really dated much. I have a wife, so I fell in love with the first woman that I fell in love with. So, well, I married the first woman that I fell in love with. So I can't be like, oh man, I got this so much game that I can tell you guys. Nah, I ain't rolling like that. You know what I mean? So it's not that I can really give a lot of insight on things like that. I'll just say that, you know, just if you don't think it's a red flag and other people see it as a red flag, just listen. But at the end of the day, it's like I've always said this: just because a girl flirts with you doesn't mean she's going to flirt with all of your friends, and vice versa. Maybe she's very flirtatious with one of your friends, doesn't mean that you have that type of game. That's the way I look at it. So maybe Travis, you know, he can lock it down. Maybe he can't. I mean, everybody's telling him, hey, bro, like there's a lot of red flags. There's a lot of these things. And if he wants to be oblivious and blind to it, you know, some people learn the hard way. But at the same time, it's just like, just listen, bro. You know, it's okay. But again, going back to what we were talking about 2 hours ago, when it comes down to criticism, it's very difficult to really, you know, be objective and just be like, because, you know, you're critiquing a person. And it's like, I'm supposed to hear you talk bad about me? Man, it's horrible. Vince Vargas goes, I know Hunter's girl is all over social media. Yeah, dude, they're going all in on him. And what sucks is I know a lot of people think that they're looking out for Travis Hunter and stuff like that. And I'm sure they have good intentions of him. All I'm going to say is this. This dude is preparing for a bowl game, people. He had, like, you guys are pressuring him and his girl when he has to lock in for this playoff game. because they're trying to win that for the state, for the history to end off as a champion, whatever bowl that they're going to participate in against BYU, and you guys are distracting him from all of these things that you guys are doing, and you're attacking his fiance. It couldn't be at a worse timing. It's a double whammy. You guys like Travis Hunter to the point where you guys are willing to do the research and be like, hey, bro, this is what your girl was doing. This is what your girl was doing. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you guys are fucking up my psyche and my momentum that I have to deactivate my Instagram because I need to lock in for this. And this is all distraction. It's tough, man. It's tough. I feel for Travis Hunter, man. And it's funny how all of this all of a sudden comes to light, right, after he wins the Heisman. I almost feel like they're trying to ruin the kid's reputation. It's just pretty bad timing, if I would say. Vince Vargas goes, let us talk live from the salad bowl. That's funny, man. I think that should be our, like, if we ever do like a live broad stream, it should be let us talking. We should have the lettuce right there.
Like eat a bowl of lettuce or something, like a salad.
Correct.
A Taylor, and a Taylor Farm. You know how that Taylor Farm has the bowls of different types of salad.
Yeah,
we should have one.
If we were smart, bro, we could be sponsored by Taylor Farms.
That's what I was gonna say.
But we would have to have a nice setup, nice neon lights, some little record player playing in the background, and have like a little bourbon drink, garnished with a little orange peel, sour sugar cube, crash. Nah, man. Look, guys, I don't got.
Oh no.
Yo.
Shit. A setup should be like have a fucking a bag right next to us. Have a punching bag right next to us, and like maybe some like speed bags, or like boxing equipment, because I got the bag right here, but that would be kind of cool,
Yeah, no, man.
Did you see the camera that Nestor got from TBV? Did you see it?
Negative.
Dude, it's a camera that's following him. So he's going live, and then he'll be like, okay, it's time for me to go on my steps. And he has this it's like a treadmill, but without the handles and everything. And it's like a mat that moves for him, and he just walks, and he literally goes from sitting down to standing up, and the camera follows him,
So does he? Is it like a chest vest? Or it's like a vest that he puts on, and then it has like a stabilizer that just follows his face.
It's on a tripod. And he's sitting down, and then whenever he decides to get his steps in, he'll get up and he'll start walking, and it'll like follow him, and it'll turn like 90 degrees, or and he's using it right now. Like I guess he's going live from the Dominican Republic, so he's doing the exact same thing. He's got a little treadmill, and then I don't know what the intervals are for him, but he's getting his steps in while going live. I was like, dude, that's big time right there. Imagine how active you can get while going live. Like, imagine this whole time right now you just went for a fucking for a little walk, and you're like, dude, I'm tired right now. I was just I'm just chilling right now, and then you're like, I'm still alive. I didn't interrupt anything, but
oh yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of it. Like where right now he's like you're saying, the Dominican Republic, and there's a camera that follows him, but it's moving left and right and stuff like that. It's interesting.
Pretty cool, huh?
I'm not too sure how they went about that. You gotta talk to him about like, hey man, who's your technical, who's your gaffer, and you'd be like, what kind of equipment you using, what kind of what software is it? And he said, I use Final Cut Pro, and I use the live editing webcam series, live cam, multicam.
Yeah, well, he got it from Best Buy, he said. So I forget, like he said at a certain part of the podcast, and he said, and he put and he lets everyone know which camera he's using pretty much. But yeah, it's like $500 or something like that. But yeah, that camera's dope, bro. Like imagine just send that thing up while we're watching fights in your living room or a living room,
True.
And it'll go from us. We just have to, I don't know, raise our hand or something, and it'll go to us, and we talk. Like imagine like the possibilities with that thing, So he also goes for walks right there. So it's a little, ideas of what you can do. I know you like to get up and you randomly start punching the bag, and then like while you're talking, like imagine, bro, like how freeing, like how much freedom you get for that from just by getting that camera, But the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah, right on, brother. Yeah, man. Vince goes Villa as a special guest. Duo show live from Ruben Villa's gym. Yeah, man. I think I'll reach out to him. I definitely want to do this thing with Jorge Maravillo. I want to reach out to him soon, and do like a little interview. I just want to talk about you know his experience working with Freddie Roach. How's his experience been from hopping from gym to gym? He's gone from Ruben Villa's gym to the Robert Garcia Academy gym to training in Las Vegas to now training in Los Angeles with Freddie Roach and all of these things. How is it like fighting in Mexico? I want to talk to him about all of that experience. Um,
You write these questions down?
yeah, I don't know. I just have it on the top of my head. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I want to do it like not just like reporting questions. I want to be like doing a little massage. What do you call it? A montage. There you go. Sorry.
Pause.
Montage footage of like him speed back, him shadow boxing training, and then we juxtapose certain questions like, hey yo Jorge, what's your favorite punch? Ah shit, my signature punch right now, bro, has always been the left hook to the body, and then he hits the back, bop bop, moosh. And then I'll be like, all right, bro, you hit the bag pretty good. Now let me see how it feels. So then I'll either wear the chest protector, the body protector or not, and then take a left hook to the liver or some shit, or I'll block it and be like, God damn, bro, that shit hurts. And I'll be like, yo, guys, on the scale of like 100 being, the max output of power, that was like an 85 for sure. That dude's got heavy hands. Or whatever. So I want to do like interactive with the questions, but also interactive with like, that one interview, what's it called? It's Floyd Mayweather and there's and was it Scotty? I don't know. Mayweather teaching shoulder roll. His name is shoulder roll. What's his name? No, not this. It's Floyd Mayweather Senior. Right here. This guy. This white guy. What's this white guy's name?
Oh, that guy's a chef.
Nah. He's not a chef. He's explaining to him how to go about the shoulder roll, how to defend the 1-2. Fuck, what's his name? I'm trying to think about. He's teaching you how to do the shoulder roll and how he goes about just staying in the pocket and blocking these shots and counter punching with the shoulder roll right here. Smitty. That's his name, Smitty. I said Scotty. So this one right here.
Still may hit hard. The guy put all the work in the gym, did all the running, did all the hard training, and it is showing the fight.
Is it easier for you now that your body's matured and you're not having to worry about?
I was touching his glove. I'm gonna go to the pocket. I'm not showing you the pocket right now. I was touching his glove like this. So what's touch and shoot. The touch not shoot. And then so he's like this. I know sometimes when it don't matter anyway. A guy like this, I'm in the pocket. No, shoot right here to my body. If you go to my body, I come up.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the hook,
one shot. Boom.
Go to my body. I come up. If you go to the hook, I come right here. If you go to the hook, you shoot the hook. You can come here. Or you can come. You can anywhere. Up top.
One of the things you're able to get away with that.
And this little 5 minute, it's so good, bro. And that's what I want to do with like Ruben and then with Jorge. And then of course, if you get more into detail and they're like, damn, Rick knows his boxing, he still keeps into the loop, he knows these things, then maybe spar them and then look at what I really want to do though, is I want to watch fights with them and break down their fights and then see how they can correct it. You know what I mean? Like if you had a rematch, like I say, if it's Ruben, like if you had a rematch with Navarrete, what do you think that you can do to change the fight? What did you learn from that fight? Have you watched the fight? Have you took notes of the fight? If you can have that moment back in a rematch, and then how would you go about getting that fight? Now that we're at where we're at in this position, how do you get yourself back into that position? What do you need to do? X, Y, and Z, you know, and ask these kind of questions that are a little more deep digging, but you know, it's not easy.
Yep.
But I mean, it's easy to do, but it's easy to have that type of access because it comes off from like a very not a criticizing standpoint, but you definitely need like
You need to know how to roll with the punches while you know they're answering them, and then you're like, "What's a good?" Like I don't know. I realize what the good, you know, interviewers like. They don't go on the script. They kind of go off of what if they give them an answer and it kind of like it rings something in their mind, and they'll you know like those type of things. It's like what makes a good reporter, you know, like carrying on it's like having a conversation and you continue to ask, you know, you're just getting more specifics, you know, until they can't give you any more, you know, like some reporters are good like that, but
yeah,
I
but
think it's practice, right?
I'm gonna try to add a little more sizzle to it, folks. So just bear with me. I'll make sure to be. I'll try to boost up the channel to be a little more active, a little more creative. I have a couple of ideas that I want to do. Just bear with me. I got hit with some really good news and stuff like that. So
News.
I want to, yeah, just like you know, I've been shaking and baking. You know, Ricky Bobby. You know, I've been getting some really cool opportunities. So I might be able to fund the channel a little more and do more. I have a lot of stuff, but I've been like a little bitch.
Nah, it's hard.
My equipment and my lights and the stuff that I bought in the past, sound mics, you know, C stands, shotgun mics, boom mics. I've been very, you know, just lazy to not really like put my stuff out there like that. So I gotta grow out of that bubble, you know what I mean? But that being said, I'm gonna definitely try to see if I can work something with the scheduling of folks and see if it can make it work. I know that they'll say yes, and I think we'll have definitely a blast. But yeah, man, I'll definitely try to be much more like interactive with the YouTube. I know I've been just kind of like my brothers say and you guys say, just pissing in the wind, you know. But I just gotta work something out and then we'll go from there. But yeah, guys, I don't know. This might be the last live that we go for the year. I don't know, but
The whole week until the end of the year, though. But
yeah, so it's not that long of a time. But be that as it may, guys, Vince, the Mexican G, El Pachuco, Warp Speed, Drew, happy New Year's, guys. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, all that good stuff. Stay safe, have fun, enjoy the time, man, with the company, with your families, with the folks, with the friends, you know, and we're gonna have some good years in 2025, man. I'm gonna try to do better with the channel and produce more and actually have like a more of a fixated schedule, not just kind of just going
but
motion.
at least we got our reps in, though. You know, we got our reps in. We know how to. You know, this is natural now. You know, like all this shit that we're doing right now, just it's like we're on the phone right now, and we always tell each other like, come on, like we should have gone live, and we'd be on the phone talking about the same shit we talk on this shit. I mean, I'm sorry for the language, but on this you know, on this platform, you know. So, we got our reps in, bro. So that's all that matters. It's little by little, we're gonna chip away, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, little by little, man. But yeah, man, I definitely will try to get like a cool little interview, cool little montage of training footage with Ruben. I'll ask him for tips and tricks. You know, what's the best way? What's his funnest meal? What's his best way to cut weight? What's the tricks that he's learned? Does he lift weights? How much he benches? Does he do push-ups? You know, who's the hardest that he's hit? Who's the best that he sparred with? Maybe he's got some footage on his phone that he will like to share. I don't know. We can ask so many stuff. It just depends on if they're how open they are. You know what I mean? I would say more or less, folks, we're pretty open, but doesn't mean that a boxer will be receptive to it. You know. But on that note, guys, have a good night. Drew, thank you for tuning in, bro. Speed, no worries. Vince, y'all have some good rest of the night, man. And I'll see you guys possibly next year, man.
Yeah, man. Peace out, man. He wants to talk about relationships. whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, he said something like that. Yeah,
It's up to you.
maybe tomorrow. I mean, I don't
All
really
right.
talk about Travis Hunter like that. But you know, it could be pretty interesting. Later, brother.
All right, man. Peace.